I'm back, my pink brony bros, and we dance at the gear clubs. Oh my God, I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing my man thong. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Michael Garza. Welcome to the show. We're having a good time. We're kicking butt, basically. So Donald Trump, my home dog, is saying that a deal is going to be signed tonight. Is that going to happen? Playing Stalker 2 right now? Hell yeah, dude, get it. I've never played that game, but hell, man, get it. Get it. Welcome to the show, everybody. It is your host, Michael Garza. Oh, my God. We got Eric Von Eric. Total stud. Possibly sex symbol of our generation. I don't know. Potentially. Beautiful man. So what's going on, my pink brony bros? It is I, your host, Garza. They call me Garza. So let's take a look. And let's go with the first one we can get. General Jack Keane is saying we're coming for you,
check
bronies.
futures, please. Some red ink, but not much compared to last week's big gains. Dow off maybe 180 at the opening bell.
Coming for that
the
pussy.
Nasdaq down maybe 50 points. Let's check out these psychedelic drug developers. President Trump, he signed an executive order directing health regulators to speed up reviews, and he's boosted federal research funding. Those are psychedelic drug makers, and they're all up very sharply. 27%, 13% for Definium, and Compass Pathways up 28%. Solid gains.
28%.
Signed that order. Let's get back to the war in Iran. New video released overnight shows U.S. Marines repelling.
No, I love the fact. So the markets actually were kind of interesting. Some sectors responded well. Some sectors responded eh. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't know. The way I look at it is the sectors are all going to kind of respond in each way that they do. But what is Donald Trump doing? Is he going to get a deal signed? I mean, that's the ultimate question that's weighing in on our minds. Will Donald frickin' Trump, our boy, our home dog, will he get a deal done? All right, give me a moment. Okay. Bear with me, folks. I'm going to open up a window, let a little sunshine in. All right. I'm going to eat a Mr. Beast piece of jerky. There we go, dude. I'm eating that Mr. Beast jerky. Here we go. Mr. Beast. Got these at like grocery outlet and shit. Amazing. I love grocery outlets so much.
Annie01200 says, Iran better agree to a deal but or they are done.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. We got Samuel Westall in the house. He bought some Berkshire
Samuel
Hathaway.
Westall says,
Hell yeah. Berkshire
I bought
Hathaway's
Berkshire
great.
Hathaway stock and don't even look at it.
Dude, Berkshire Hathaway is one of the best companies you could buy. So my boy Tim Smith got somebody else to join the Coos Bay All Stars. I love it. Now the Coos Bay All Stars is it's a little. So we did a bracket for the Stanley Cup 2026. I signed up for all the different prizes, all the different all the different prize leagues. But I also signed up for Tim Smith's league, the Coos Bay All Stars. So if you guys have a bracket. Oh, actually, maybe too late. I don't know if it's too late to sign up. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Either way, totally sexy. Totally sexy. So Tim Smith is saying, will Sam Altman have anyone killed if your AI bracket loses? Yeah. That's pretty much... That's funny, man.
Onto the Iranian cargo ship, the Tuska. This is in the Gulf of Oman. Iran is now threatening to retaliate for what's going on there. Retired four-star General Jack Keane joins me now. So we've seized a cargo ship, and the Iranians are ambivalent about peace talks. Is it time for the president to follow through with his threat to attack bridges and power plants?
I think so. I think it's an absolute necessary. At this point, you might as well. You got to follow through, Trump. Donald Trump, you got to follow through, bro.
Well, I think that we're going to give these negotiations a chance here. I'm assuming that Iranians, in terms of public discourse, are playing down the negotiations and likely for that reason, they're trying to indicate they're not all that interested. They may not even be coming. The fact that we're en route to the Islamabad to do negotiations, I think privately...
Annie 01200 says,
that they do
Tim always has me howling, but that man is hilarious.
Tim's amazing.
Quite dramatically.
Tim's
we
amazing.
had these negotiations, a little over a week ago. What was going on then? They had shut down the Straits of Hormuz. We did have a ceasefire, and there was no blockade. Now we have a blockade, and since we put it in place, not a single Iranian distribution of oil has taken place, and we have turned around 25 ships, one way or the other, and one we had to use force to do it. So that reality is certainly embracing the Iranians. I don't think they expected that, and it's been a very bold move on the part of the president here to really gain some leverage. So going into these negotiations, we have significant leverage that we didn't have the last time. The last time, the main leverage was 2-week ceasefire, then we return to combat operations. We still have that, but we got this incredible economic leverage on them, which is simply shut down all of their revenue sources.
Absolutely, bro. Abso-freaking-lutely. Shut it down. Shut down every revenue source. Block every Iranian tanker from coming out of that area next to the Karg Island, General Jack Keane, baby. He said it once. He said it again. Iran, dude. Donald Trump's coming for you, dude. Either Iran signs the deal today or whenever they need to, or you're cooked.
Over 90%. That is quite staggering. And what should that get for us? It's clearly what we want. We have our priorities, and the number one priority is the nuclear enterprise. We want all the enrichment that they have. We certainly want to make certain that they've dismembered and dismantled all of the technology they use to build nuclear enterprise, and that's centrifuges, cascades, etc. We have to see all of that. And also we want no enrichment whatsoever, because we know we give them a little bit of enrichment, it's a pathway to a nuclear weapon, as it has been in the past. And we need...
You don't want to give them any leverage, basically, is what he's saying. You don't want to give them any leverage at all. They should have no uranium, because if they have any amount of uranium, there's a chance they could get more and more and more. And the reason it's dangerous, and it's sad that people are so short-sighted on this, the reason it's dangerous for them to have any sort of nuclear power is because of what they would do with it. We all know what Iran would do with it, right? I mean, come on, man. We all know. Give me 1 second here. No, come on. Oh, fucking chips. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Just got done wrestling the chip bag. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, though. We're currently sitting pretty at 10,129 subs. Once again, we're at 10,129 subs. So if you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do, and you guys think that Donald Trump is a stud, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel grow. And the more we get, the better, man. E.T., it's okay, man. You always make me cry, bro. You always make me sad. You're always making me cry, bro. You always make me cry. Why do you got to be that kind of guy? Oh, E.T., why you gotta do this to me? E.T. No, Donald Trump's a stud, though. If you guys think that Donald Trump is a stud, tap the subscribe button. If you guys think that J.D. Vance is the man, tap the subscribe button. Let's go.
And this is really important, Stuart. We need to bring inspectors in on a regular basis, anytime, anywhere, because, as we've said time and time and time again, and you have said it yourself, these guys cheat. And they have never, ever granted anywhere, anytime inspections. It's always been a specific time, 1 hour only.
Hey, thank you, Annie, for sharing this on X, though. I appreciate it. I'll share it on X, too, so that way we get some groundage. More ground we get, the better, man. Give me just a second. Okay, let's keep going.
The location, and even though we had evidence something was going on in another location, the UN was denied to go to that location. That nonsense has got to be over. Anywhere, anytime, and they have got to agree to it. And certainly the other thing is, a priority is, they have to open up the Straits of Hormuz.
Sure.
So yes, I suspect negotiations are going to take place. President Trump is not going to make a bad deal here. We said that over the last negotiations. Hopefully something good comes out of that. And if not, obviously, we've got a major arrow in our quiver. And that is not only the blockade, but returning to combat operations. And certainly that is something the Iranians are very much aware of.
Do we know who's in charge in Iran at this moment? It seems like it's the hardliners in the Revolutionary Guard. Or is their leadership split?
Oh, their leadership has got to be split in Iran. Their leadership has got to be split. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it at this point. It is absolutely split. And, you know, you guys can say, oh, you're just exaggerating, Garza. You're just being a hater. That's what you're being, Garza. You guys can say whatever you want here, but you know I'm right. You know I'm right. You know I'm the man. You know I'm sexy. Okay, I'm not sexy, but no, look, I know you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do. So hopefully you guys subscribe because of that. But yeah, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. We're currently sitting pretty at 10,129 subs. 10,129 subs. We're racking it up, man.
There's no doubt about what you just said. The faces certainly have changed, and the positions they held in the past have changed. But the hardliners are fundamentally in charge. That is it. I think the most leverage is likely being applied by the IRGC leadership, Ahmed Vahidi and others, and they have taken control of the situation. And obviously they are the ones who opened up the straits over the objections of other people, like the foreign minister who had just announced they took the leverage to close the straits, I'm sorry, after the foreign minister had opened up and made a statement.
We love you, Uncle Chris. We love you.
That they were open. So IRGC carries more.
So crude oil's up a little bit today. All right.
Small wiener gang.
I think the IRGC is super fractured, dude. I don't even think they know where their right hand or left hand is. Thank you, Greg Moore, for subscribing to the channel. Everybody give a shout out to Greg Moore. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to clap my hands. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate you.
Small wiener gang.
Everybody give a shout out to Greg Moore, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to subscribe to the channel, man. If you guys haven't already, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel in a lot of ways. More subscribers, the better. Also, if you guys can, tap the like button. Double tap the screen, essentially, to like the stream. It really does help. Every like pushes us further and further out on the algorithm in a good way. It actually it shows the stream to more people. So if you guys can, double tap the screen to like the stream so that way we could get seen by more people on the algorithm. It really does help. So more likes equals more exposure. So I appreciate every single like. Thank you guys for being kind enough to tap that like, double tap that screen though. Appreciate it. You're so kind. You're so damn kind, and I appreciate you all. You all make me so happy.
Wait, it's not surprising. A leadership vacuum after the Ayatollah was killed. We can see that vacuum taking place. We haven't seen a new Ayatollah. All we've seen is statements from him. That his voice hasn't really been.
I don't think that the here's the thing, the current Ayatollah, I don't think he's alive. I think that they're just saying he's alive. And they're putting out false statements on his behalf. I think he's either severely injured and disfigured, unfortunately, or something. But look, Iran. Chris Rule says, small wiener gang. Hell yeah, dude. Look, I don't know anymore, man. I don't know anymore. I just want this Iran conflict to be done and over with. It's pretty much done. If Iran could just do a deal, then nobody else has to get hurt. If Iran could come to the negotiation table, complete the deal, and actually follow through with the deal and leave the Strait of Hormuz alone, good. If they can't, which here's the thing, I am counting it's sad because I'm kind of counting on it that they're not going to come to the table because Iran only knows, unfortunately, violence. At least the Iranian government does. So at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to violence. That's all it's going to come down to. So Iran's cooked if they don't sign this agreement, basically. If they don't sign this agreement and they don't come to the negotiating table, bye-bye, Iran. I don't know what else to tell you. Bye-bye. See you later. Sayonara. If you guys can, though, double tap your screens to like the stream. If you haven't already, we're trying to get as many likes as possible because more likes means it pushes this content out to the algorithm. So don't forget to double tap your screen to like the stream, or if you decide to like the stream in any other way, I appreciate it. Every like actually does help. It really does push us out on the algorithm quite a bit. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for double tapping your screens to like the stream. It really does help the channel grow. Let's keep going.
Felt. So what's happening? That vacuum is being filled. The guys with the guns, not too surprising, Stuart, have more leverage over the political types. The foreign minister and Galibaf, who comes out of a job as the Speaker of their parliament. Both of those, by the way, so our audience understands, were part of the IRGC. This is why the hardliners are definitely still in charge, and they're not giving up on their goals and objectives. And our people who are dealing with them are clear-eyed about this as well.
So should we attempt to decapitate the Revolutionary Guard, their leadership, all over again?
Yes, absolutely. Get rid of the Revolutionary Guard. Destroy the rest of Iran's military. Destroy the rest of their military. If you destroy the rest of Iran's military, you win the conflict. You completely win the conflict at that point. So I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to destroy the rest of Iran's entire military. As they should. Why the hell not? You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Get it on. Come on, man. So you guys, I do have to do something real quick. I'm going to, I'm actually going to restart the Mixer app. So I'm going to go silent for a few moments, okay? I'm going to be silent for a few moments. Don't be... Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Are we back? Yeah, we're back. So I wanted to restart the virtual mixer, just because it seemed like it was working, but I just wanted to make sure that we're at full capacity. So, but thank you guys. Double tap the screen to like the stream. It does help us out on the algorithm. So once again, double tap your screen to like the stream if you haven't already, just because we're trying to get as many likes as we possibly can on this particular stream. We're trying to see if we could get to actually 100 likes before the end of the stream. So if we could get to 100 likes, that would be amazing. So yeah, don't forget to double tap the screen to like the stream. Let's go, bro. Let's go, bronies. Oh, my God.
Again, if we know who their leadership is and they're obstinate and not giving in to us and our demands, do we go after them?
Absolutely,
No doubt,
dude. Go after them like crazy. Absolutely.
Back to combat operations, because everything falls apart here. I'm sure somebody's going to lean across the table and tell them, if you guys don't make a deal, we're coming after you personally.
It's got to happen, man.
All of you and the rest of your cohorts, their lives will be at stake. And you're going to get back to, number one job for them will be personal security. Number two will be preserving the regime. But number one will be hiding from our bombs and our missiles. That's a fact. And certainly the Israelis, who have great intelligence, the CIA also, in terms of locations, will do everything we can. Now, these guys have they've learned some lessons, and they're digging into much deeper holes in terms of protecting them well under the ground so that our bombs can't get near them. But that's certainly the leadership targets are high-value targets, and they'll be up there. But listen, Cargill Island sits out there. Right now, we're blocking everything coming out of it. Think of what it would mean if we took it down and destroyed it.
The damage that has been done to Iran has been amazing. And look, Iran, if we're going to be honest, Iran had this coming. They just had this coming. And to those of you who don't think that Iran had this coming, I mean, I think you're a little bit out of your mind. I think you're a little bit out of your damn mind if you didn't think they had this coming. They knew this was going to happen. They knew this was a possibility. They knew it. Absolutely, they knew it. And it happened. It absolutely happened, man. No, Iran's government absolutely had this coming. Are you kidding me? Whoa.
Imawake 805 says, Iran didn't have this coming.
Are you sure? Are you certain about that? Are you absolutely certain about that? Iran's government absolutely had this coming. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Give me just a few seconds. This thing is being stupid. I'll be back. One moment. All right, I still think we're live. Hold on, sorry about that. I had to do a couple of things on this end because for some reason... anyway, whatever. Thank you guys for tapping the like button, by the way. We're almost back. Hold on. Double tap your screen to like the stream, but one moment. Okay, we're back. Where's the what? I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
We will mention that reality in the negotiations, as well as everything else that they care about, not just their military targets per se in terms of weapons, but all the infrastructure that supports weapons. And that has to do with power plants and everything else that's on that target list. By the way, just so our adversaries know if they're listening, we have twice as much combat air power in the region today than we did when we began the war some weeks ago. And the Israelis are full up and stocked and have the depth of magazines ready to go in terms of ammunition and weapons. So what would...
Yeah, Iran's cooked. If they don't get to the table, if Iran doesn't get to the table to sign a deal, they're cooked. They're really, really cooked. That's all there is to it, man. Okay, let's watch a little Mornings with Maria. She's pretty cool.
Welcome back. CENTCOM releasing new video overnight of U.S. forces taking over an Iranian cargo ship after a 6-hour standoff. The cargo ship was trying to break past the U.S.'s naval blockade. The ship, called Tauska, reportedly spent much of the last year moving between China and Iran. Hundreds of commercial tankers are now stranded on both sides of the strait after Iran halted traffic in the strait over the weekend, reversing course on its decision to effectively open it on Friday, agreeing with the United States. Tehran now telling shippers they must use new traffic lanes along the Iranian coast. But President Trump told me yesterday on the phone that it was the U.S. who closed the strait because of the blockade. U.S. officials
Small
are
wiener
gearing up
gang.
for another round of talks in Pakistan tonight. The Iranians, however, still no response on this meeting. The state media is suggesting that Iran might not show up, although AP reported this morning that the meeting is on, and President Trump told me
They're actually having a meeting. Okay, good. Because look, nobody wants a deal more than I do, right? However, I'm not optimistic about Iran actually coming to the table and fully signing that deal. Because one, I don't trust Iran. I really don't. I think that Iran does too many stupid things. They just do far too many stupid things, man. I mean, Iran's really just screwing themselves at the end of the day.
yesterday a deal will be signed tonight.
I think you guys can agree with me. If you guys think that Iran is screwing themselves, double tap your screen. If you guys think a deal is going to be done, actually, you know what? If you guys are feeling pretty uncertain if a deal's going to get done or not, double tap your screen to like the stream. If you guys love Donald Trump as much as I do and you think he's a stud, double tap your screen to like this stream. Okay, let's keep going, bro. Let's keep going.
Meanwhile, House Democrats are now discussing plans to force a vote on an Iran war powers resolution every day until one passes or U.S. operations in the region end as the conflict approaches the 60-day mark. February 28th is when it started. Joining me now is California Congressman Ro Khanna. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Ro Khanna, yeah. This guy looks kind of cool. I like this guy. I don't know much about Ro Khanna. He just has a cool name. He's got a cool last name.
Good to see you, Maria.
And I want to get your take on where we are. You introduced a bill to stop U.S. oil exports during the conflict in Iran. Why do you want to stop U.S. oil exports during this conflict?
Maria, it's common sense. Why would we be sending our oil overseas when Americans are getting fleeced at the pump? When gas is...
Yeah, that makes sense. Halt exports and then make sure the oil's going to us for a little bit, the oil that we're drilling out. Yeah, because Americans when we are getting fleeced at the pump, man. I paid the other day because I'm on the coast of Oregon. I was paying like what $5.10 per gallon. Luckily, I don't have luckily I've got a really good car, and luckily it's great on gas mileage, so I'm not hurting. But to anybody who's got a gas guzzler, man, that they're probably hurting. They're probably hurting like crazy.
Gone from $2.30 to $4. We should have our oil supply for Americans, and that would bring down the price. This was a giveaway in 2015 to the big oil companies. Yeah, it's good for them. It's not good for the average consumer.
I don't know if it's a giveaway, really, but the truth is the president told the nation just the other day, and we know this to be true, that the U.S. is producing more oil and gas.
What the? Hold on.
Oil overseas oil companies. Yeah, it's good for them. It's not good for the average consumer.
I don't know if it's a giveaway, really, but the truth is the president told the nation just the other day, and we know this to be true, that the U.S. is producing more oil and gas. Democrats do not want to see drill, baby, drill, right?
The U.S. was...
I want to see drill, baby, drill, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Donald Trump, drill, baby, drill, dude. Drill, baby, drill. Dude, oil is liquid gold. I think we should have green energy. I think we should have fossil fuels. I think we should have it all. We should have a whole smorgasbord of energy options. And look, I love green energy. I love fossil fuels. I love it all. I love it all. I want all the energy options on the table. That's what I want. That's what Daddy wants. That's what Daddy needs, okay? Daddy wants all energy options, okay? That's what Daddy wants. That's what Daddy needs, dude. Zaddy! That's That's what daddy wants, dude. Hell yeah. I think you guys know that I'm right in your heart of hearts.
Producing, as you know, more oil and gas at a record level, even under Joe Biden. The point is, though.
Uh-oh, she says.
Tallahassee says. Uh-oh, she said something she wasn't supposed to, LOL.
I know. Uh-oh. She wasn't supposed to say that. Make sure you guys double tap the screen to like the stream. But more importantly, if you guys can, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're currently sitting at 10,131 subscribers. Once again, we're at 10,131. So like I said, man, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. We're a smaller YouTube channel, obviously. But we're growing. We're still growing. Even though we got to 10,000, I still want to encourage all of you guys to subscribe and like. But yeah, like the stream too if you can. It really helps.
Why are we exporting it? And Maria, the biggest point is, why have we gotten into a war that has led to the closing of the Strait of Hormuz? The strait was perfectly open 60 days ago. And, you know,
Thank you, Sergio Hernandez. Everybody give a shout out to Sergio Hernandez.
Sergio Hernandez L4G says, I just subscribe.
Thank you for subscribing, brother. I never gave a shout out to Ahmed Gan. Everybody, let's give a shout out to Ahmed Gan for subscribing. Thank you very
Small
much.
Wiener Gang.
Thank you very much for joining the Small Wiener Gang. If you guys can, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. More subscribers equals YouTube pushing this out most likely to more people. But yeah.
Tallahassee says, hi Annie. Just stopping in on my break.
We got our boy, dude. We got our boy, dude. We got our boy Nate Dogg stopping in. And, yeah, I'll probably be streaming for about 2 more hours. I think I'll probably be streaming for about 2 more hours. And then I'm probably going to go for a bit of, well, I'm going to have lunch with my girlfriend and then I'm going to go for a walk. And then I got to do some laundry. And then, yeah, so I don't have much. It's kind of a lazy day for me. But then I'm going to do, once I'm done doing laundry, my dad's going to come back, do another stream today. Hey, by the way, I'm not a stoner, but I do want to say happy 420 to everybody. I know 420 is a big thing for the stoner community. So to all my stoner brony bros, happy 420.
I talked, as I know you do, I talked to some of the senior finance guys at Wall Street, JP Morgan, others. They thought that this war would have been over in 3 weeks. This war has gone on 60 days. It's hurting the economy. It's putting our lives at risk. We've got Khamenei Jr. in charge, who's actually more hardline with the IRGC. We have a worse regime in there. What have we achieved?
Are you saying that you do not think it's a good idea to defang Iran from having a nuclear weapon?
Absolutely, we should do that. But this is not achieving that. We now have Khamenei Jr., who actually wants
to do that. So, Congressman, how do you expect to do that?
I'll tell you how
what is your plan? Hold on. What is your plan to ensure that Iran does not have a nuclear?
Yeah, they should have. By the way, Iran should have no access to uranium. Period. End of story. I've said that so many times on this channel, maybe too many times. But Iran deserves no access to a nuclear weapon, okay? None. Keep Iran away from nuclear power. That should be the ultimate goal. Okay? The goal should be Iran has no nuclear capability. Repeat after me. Iran should have zero, and I mean zero, nuclear capabilities. Straight up. All right? I think you guys are aware that I'm right. You guys have to know that I'm right? You guys know that I'm correct, right? Come on, man. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. Now you guys know I'm right. My pink brony bros.
Nuclear weapon.
Well, this is not doing it. This is putting Iran closer on the trajectory of a nuclear weapon because Khamenei Sr., who we assassinated,
no, that's not
actually
true. That's not true. President Obama.
Let me just finish, Maria. Let me just finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You know, look, Khamenei Jr. is saying he wants to develop it. The more hardline IRGC is in. What we need is the enriched uranium. Even Vice President Vance acknowledges it. That is underground. You can't bomb to get that. You need diplomacy. We should be sitting down with Oman, with other nations. Now that maybe we have leverage, we should be getting a deal. But to be threatening to wipe out Iranian civilization, to be threatening to blockade the Strait of Hormuz and close it, hurting the economy, that's just not.
No, the blockade's perfect. No, the blockade was necessary. Prevent Iranian ships from leaving, let everybody else go through. If Iran's going to be a piece of crap, we got to be a piece of crap back. You know what I mean? You have to reflect what your opponent is doing, and sometimes you have to reflect it 2 or 3 times harder. If they're going to slap you in the face, you may have to, you know what, back at them. You see what I'm saying? You have to, whatever they're doing, you got to do 10 times harder. Back at them. That's the way it should be. And it's not an eye for an eye in this instance. It's you take my eye, I'm going to destroy your entire body. That's what's happening here. So look, if Iran's going to be cute, they're not going to be cute for much longer. All right?
Rational policy.
Now, President, look, are you saying that you want diplomacy with Iran and you think that they're going to tell you the truth? They just told us.
Yeah, Iran has negotiated in bad faith this entire time. I do not trust Iran for the life of me. I really don't. I don't trust that Iran's got the best intentions here. I just don't. I really don't believe they do at all in any way. So, yeah, I don't trust Iran is what I'm really saying. Yeah. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to experiment a little bit. But yeah, no, I just don't. You can't really trust Iran at this point, and I don't know how anybody really can. Why would you trust Iran? Period. End of story. Why would you? I know I don't. I know I definitely don't, man. I just can't trust Iran as far as you could throw them either. But yeah, we're currently at 10,133 subs. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to subscribe. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow. We're trying to get, eventually we want to get to 20,000, but we're taking it a subscriber at a time. We're just grateful for that. We're just grateful that anybody subscribes to begin with. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being incredible. Tim Smith says, I have Pakistan in my Strait of Hormuz bracket. Are they still in it? Oh, God. So, by the way, huge shout out to Tim Smith for letting me know about the NHL bracket choosing thing. I decided to use AI to not generate my bracket, but to choose all the picks and how many games would be won for that bracket. So I'm very excited. Using ChatGPT to choose my bracket was actually kind of funny. I had a good time with it. Very good time with it.
Months ago that they did not have any long-range missiles, and then they sent a long-range missile to the Diego Garcia Island. So I'm just trying to understand what your plan would be to defang Iran from a nuclear weapon, because right now, as the president has said many times, Iran's Navy is gone, the Air Force is gone, the leadership is gone, and yes, it impacted the economy, and the Iranian people are begging President Trump to finish the job. We had on Reza Pahlavi, a ton of other Iranian citizens who say, please, President Trump, help us. So exactly.
Yeah, the Iranian people want our help. They're tired of being ruled over by the asshole Ayatollah. At the end of the day, they are tired. They're sick and tired of being ruled over by the Ayatollah. They don't want it. Who the hell would? Who the hell would want to be ruled over by this crazy, wild regime? I mean, really think about that. Who would?
What are you saying? You're saying you would rather the president do diplomatic talks, and you think they're going to tell us the truth?
Oh, dude, Iran's going to lie through their teeth. Iran always lies through their teeth. They're not going to tell us the truth. Why would they? They have no incentive to. In fact, they have more incentive to lie, unfortunately. And the reason they have more incentive to lie because that's the character of who they are. That is the content of the character of the Iranian government. The asshola Ayatollah is going to go down sooner rather than later. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea to make peace with this Iranian government. I really don't think they're negotiating in good faith. I just don't. I truly don't believe that the Iranian government, I just don't think that they're negotiating in good faith. I really don't, man. But that's just my opinion on it.
Maria, I'll tell you what the Iranian people are not begging for. They're not begging for Donald Trump to wipe out Iranian civilization. They're not begging for him to blow up every power plant and threaten war crimes. And they don't like the fact that we have actually a more hardline regime in there. They have not created a regime that is respecting human rights or protesters. And the reality is, yes.
Yeah, here's the thing. I say just wipe out the entire Iranian government and start from scratch. That's what I think. I say just hit the reset button. Either demand that the entire Iranian government resign, or alternatively, they get punished. One or the other. Either resign peacefully, and then that's that. But no, the Iranian government has committed crimes against humanity. But yeah, let's keep going.
Yes, I don't trust Iran.
Hold on.
Obviously, Reagan had said trust to verify.
You can't sit there and tell me that you are talking about Iran's human rights when the way they treat women and the way they treat citizens are there moral equivalence between the way President Trump treats citizens and the.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. You cannot compare Iran to the U.S. The U.S. is way better than Iran. Period, end of story. We have a better government. We have a better, in my opinion, culture than Iran. I think Iran's culture is honestly abhorrent and disgusting. Yeah, Annie said it best. Iran, and let's just put this up here real quick.
Annie01200 says, Iran took out their own people for protesting. How can anyone defend that?
Yeah. You can't. You just can't defend it. It's wild to me. So.
Are you putting an equivalency there?
No, I'm not putting an equivalency. What I'm saying is that we have not created a regime that actually is respecting human rights. We have a regime that is more hardline. There is no democracy emerging. There is no regime that's actually closer to the United States. Actually, you know what we've done is we've increased China's role in the region. Now they want to have oil transactions in the yuan, not in the dollar. And so what we've done is actually lost influence in that region. And we haven't gotten the enriched uranium. I mean, that is the problem.
Well, I think that President Trump is trying to negotiate that. And he told me yesterday directly that he's expecting a deal to be signed tonight in Pakistan. I want to move on to other.
I want there to be a deal. I'm hoping that there's a deal. And I'm hoping that Iran actually, what do you call it? I'm hoping that Iran honors the deal. Will they ultimately honor the deal? I have my doubts. I really do. I have a lot of doubts here. But at the same time, We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Other issues, because I know you're doing a lot, Congressman, and we appreciate that. But here's my final question on this issue. Are you suggesting that Obama's leadership on Iran was better? Because under President Obama, there were 14 wire transfers to a hold on. There were 14 wire transfers to a Swiss account linked to Hezbollah.
Now that's sketchy. That is sketchy. Wholeheartedly sketchy.
2014 and 2016, that was a total of $1.7 billion. The same $1.7 billion he told Congress was frozen Iranian assets. Now, there was a back channel to Tehran through Valerie Jarrett, active for 2012 to 2024. This was after he left office. So, you know, it was almost like a shadow government. He also sent pellets of cash in a plane to Iran. Now, why would you send...
That is weird. That is honestly weird. And this is why, like, I think that Obama was very responsible for what's happening today. I agree with Trump on this one, you know, and I agree with Maria on this one that, you know, Democrats are pointing the finger at the wrong guy. The finger pointing needs to be at Obama for sending all that money, for wiring all that money. It just like that. Maria's putting down some real evidence here. And Democrats, of course, are not going to listen to the evidence. They never do. And the thing is, the reason we don't listen to the Democrats is because their evidence tends to be pretty falsified, in my opinion. I don't trust the mainstream media. And this is allegedly, by the way. This is all my opinion. I just don't trust the Democrats at all because I don't trust socialists at the end of the day. I just don't trust socialists at all. Let's keep going.
Money to Iran, knowing that they are building a nuclear weapon and they are the leading sponsor of terrorism.
Yes, the number one state sponsor of terrorism. Iran's government deserved this. Iran's military deserved to be destroyed. Iran's leadership deserved to be fractured beyond all repair.
Barack Obama was a great statesman who left America much safer. I wouldn't put Donald Trump...
A great statesman, dude. Barack Obama, by the way, for everything you accuse Trump of being, Barack Obama was like 5 times more than that. So Barack Obama, which is so funny, you guys don't want to acknowledge this. Democrats don't want to acknowledge that Barack Obama was actually kind of a warmonger. Oh, yeah. Wholeheartedly. And in a lot of ways, Trump has become pretty much the president of peace. Now you're saying, well, how's he the president of peace when he's taken out Iran? Well, honestly, the Iranian people wanted the asshole Ayatollah out of there. They're tired of the current government. They're tired of being ruled by Islam. So yeah, I think that the Iranian people deserve a change in leadership, and they're getting just that. And honestly, I think that they don't deserve a military. I think Iran's military needs to be decimated for the most part. Their weapons need to go away. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Iran's just a crap. You know, Iran's government's crap. They have too dark of a philosophy. It's a very dystopian philosophy overall. So I'm happy with what Trump has done. I really am. I am completely satisfied with what Trump has done. Trump has made all the right moves. It's up to Iran. Does Iran want to get obliterated or not? That's the question. So either Iran comes to the table and they save the rest of their country, which is in shambles at this point because of what they've done. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't trust, what Obama did. I mean, like, crazy.
Trump in the same paragraph. The reality is when President Obama left, because of the great efforts of people like Valerie Jarrett, we had 97% of the enriched uranium out. The reality is we didn't have 13 American service members dead. The reality is we never had gas go up from $2.30 to $4. The reality is we did not give China more role in the region. Let me finish, Maria. I'll let you finish.
Okay,
we didn't give China more role in the region. We didn't.
Man, this guy sucks. This guy's terrible, dude. This guy is shilling for the Democrats hard. This man right here is a Democrat shill. Obviously, he's part of the Democrat Party, but he's a Democrat shill. The only thing cool about him is his name. Ro Khanna sounds like a kind of a tight name, I'm not going to lie. Other than that, this guy blows, dude.
Not give the IRGC a more hardline regime in there. You know why? Because Obama actually did his homework. He actually tried to engage in...
Hey, thank you so much, Tiny Lion Gaming, for the 100. We got Tiny Lion Gaming in the house. Hell yeah. It's your boy, Tiny Lion Gaming, for 3. No, thank you, Tiny Lion Gaming. I appreciate it. My chat. Hell yeah, dude. No, thank you for the jewels, my man. Thank you for everything.
Tiny Lion Gaming says, my chat.
Yeah, dude. My boy. Shaboy.
Statesmanship. He got China, Russia, the entire European allies on board with getting Iran on a path to not having a nuclear weapon. All Trump did is listen to Netanyahu. That's his entire foreign policy. And you know what? I resent the fact that Israel is going to tell the United States what to do. The American president should call the shots in this country.
And, well, the American president should call the shots in this country, but you and your colleagues are trying to clip his wings right now with this war powers vote.
Absolutely they are. Absolutely. And this war powers vote's stupid because let Donald Trump finish the job. He's already decimated the entire Iranian government and pretty much their military. Let him finish the rest of the job. Let's get it all good.
I agree. The president is in charge. But look, a lot of the things that you just said are just not true, Congressman. I mean, look, we have to look at this realistically. And President Obama sent money to the Iranians. And what did they...
Exactly, Tiny Lion Game. And nobody tells Trump what to do, dude. Nobody. They
do. They resumed their buildup of enrichment.
That's not true.
Yeah,
Not true.
What's not true? What's not true? What specifically about that sentence is not true?
There was a deal that we reached to get 97% of the enriched uranium out. In the process of that, Iran had certain assets that were Iranian assets. Wasn't our money.
If you guys think that Ro Khanna is a fool, double tap your screen to like the stream. If you guys think the Democrats trying to do this War Powers Act is idiocy, double tap your screen to like the stream. If you guys are just tired of the Democrats in general, if you guys are tired of all the woke shit, double tap your screen to like the stream. We're done with the Dems, dude. Also, if you guys can, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. More subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's keep going.
That was unfrozen, and that was a deal that China, Russia, France, UK, Canada, the United States all agreed to. And then you had Netanyahu come in and try to torpedo it, and AIPAC tried to torpedo that deal. We were on a path to having a denuclear Iran, but what happened is it wasn't in Netanyahu's interest and AIPAC's interest, and they've dragged us into another war in the Middle East. They've hurt American people, and the American people are tired of it. They want people who are going to be...
Absolutely, the American people are tired of it, dude. You know what we're tired of? You know what the American people are tired of? We're tired of Iran. That's what we're tired of. We're tired of the Iranian government toying with our government in these negotiations. Look, just come to the table, agree that you're not going to have uranium. Iran should not have uranium at all. Period. End of story. There should be no scenario where there's a nuclear Iran. There should be zero scenario where there's a nuclear Iran. Zero. Say no to a nuclear Iran completely. Say no to it.
Be Team America. They want people who are going to bring gas prices down here and care about our nation and get us out of these wars. And that's why Obama won. He was against the Iraq war. That's why he was on a path to normalization in terms of getting Iran to be denuclear.
Small wiener gang. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Everybody give a shout out to Lincoln Anderson. 43, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Guys, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. Let's put Lincoln Anderson's name back up on the board, everybody. Small wiener gang. Thank you for subscribing, man. I appreciate you. Anybody who wants to subscribe, man, you have no idea how much it helps the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better, bro. The more subscribers we get, the better, man. It puts us out there a lot. So don't forget to tap that subscribe button right there in the upper right.
On our side. And AIPAC, Netanyahu tore that up.
Relax. Congressman, it doesn't change the fact that 10 presidents before President Trump
I'm having
all
trouble
said the
hearing
same
you.
thing.
I think there's some connection issue.
Congressman.
Now I can hear you.
Congressman, it doesn't change the fact that 10 presidents before President Trump all said the same thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They are the leading state sponsor of terrorism. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
And one president delivered, and that was Barack Obama.
No, that's not true.
No, dude, are you kidding me? Barack Obama, Barack Obama did deliver. He delivered Iran a bunch of cash, and he enabled the Iranian government to basically allowing them to buy more uranium. Are you kidding me?
Not one
Barack
of them did
Obama is the
anything
only
about
one who
it.
delivered.
Congressman, you're talking.
How the hell did Obama... Dude, this is like revisionist history. How the hell did Barack Obama do anything good in this instance with Iran? The reason that Trump is in Iran to begin with, and the reason that they had so much uranium to enrich, was because of the deal with Iran that Obama... We're witnessing revisionist history right now. And Democrats are trying to rewrite the history books in ways that are just so stupid. I can't even, dude. I can't even with the Democrat Party sometimes, bro. I just can't. They're just so infuriating.
Fantasy.
97%
Obama
out.
did nothing about it. You're talking fantasy. Obama did nothing about
Not true.
it. Other than send money to the
Obama
Iranians.
got the whole world.
Oh, but yeah, it's all Obama did, dude. He basically fueled the fire. He actually gave Iran the time and the money that they needed to... Oh, my God. Dude, Ro Khanna is so low. Dude, this guy is so dumb. They're trying to rewrite history and saying Obama saved us. Obama didn't take action. Only thing he did was basically enabled. He did take action. He gave him money. And gave him a way to have all that uranium and enrich it. So Trump is basically stopping what Obama set up. And good on Trump. We don't want Iran to be powerful anyway. We don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. So no uranium. Honestly, they're the number one state sponsor of terror. So we knocked out the number one state sponsor of terror, which is good. Their military was executing their own people. So it's like, yeah, I think the citizens of Iran actually want to change, and it's going to happen. They're tired of being ruled over by the asshole Ayatollah. Yeah, they couldn't even protest their own regime. They couldn't protest the regime at all. They weren't allowed to. That's crazy, man.
He didn't send money to them. That's just factually false. He unfroze Iranian assets, but he had the whole world behind us. How many countries do we have behind us now? Obama had Russia, China, Canada, UK, France, the whole world on board, and they lost 97%.
Congressman, now you lost me. Saying Obama.
This guy is awful, dude. Terrible. Crazy, dude. It's so freaking crazy. Let's see. Small Wiener Gang. Hey, thank you so much, Jack Devil Minic. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. No, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Nah, Trump's the man, dude. Trump's the man. Trump's winning, dude. He's playing 4D chess. Trump is playing 4D chess, bro. I think you know it, dude. You know that Trump's playing 4D chess, right? I know you guys are jealous. I get it. I get it. Jealousy does things to people. Thank you, Tiny Lion Gaming, for sending a 100 for 2 jewels. Thank you for the 100s. I appreciate those. Definitely helps fund the channel in more ways than one. Thank you for the 100s. I appreciate you. If anybody wants to send any gifts, of course, you can send as many gifts as you want. We appreciate it. Well, let's see what else we got here. Let's just look up Trump. I'm just going to look up Trump right now. You know, we haven't watched CNN. In my opinion, the worst of the worst when it comes to mainstream. Actually, MSNBC is the worst.
The average
CNN's
price of gas
just as bad. But the problem with CNN is they claim to be fair and balanced news. Basically, they claim to be an unbiased, the trusted source of news. But in all actuality, it's just a bunch of anchors that have Trump derangement syndrome. They just have Trump derangement syndrome is all they got.
is still above $4 a gallon as we enter week 8.
All right, let's watch a little bit of woke CNN, okay? We're going to get woke, and we're going to watch CNN.
Of the war in Iran. Now, that price is down since last week, but still far higher than before the war began. So when could Americans see gas prices down below $3 a gallon again? Well, here's what the Energy Secretary Chris Wright told Jake Tapper on State of the Union.
Well, hopefully the gas prices go down. We're crossing our fingers here.
I don't know. That could happen later
fingers.
this year. That might not happen until next year. But prices have likely peaked, and they'll start going down. Certainly with a resolution of this conflict, you'll see prices go down.
You guys know that Trump is playing 4D chess, right? Trump is playing 4D chess. All right? Trump is playing... I'm serious. He's ahead of the curve. He sees... Dude, Trump is playing like 20 moves ahead, all right? Trump is playing 4D chess. He's 20 moves ahead. He's ahead of the opponent, all right? So, chill.
This morning, President Trump talked to the Hill and undercut his own energy secretary, rather. He said, quote, "No, I think he's wrong on that, totally wrong." I'm joined by a very smart group of reporters today. CNN's Manu Raju, Emily Davies of The Washington Post, and Ested Herndon with Vox. Let's talk about energy and gas prices. Manu, it's not surprising that the president hears one of the people who work for him talking and probably saying something that is, not probably, almost definitely saying something that is true based on the data that he's looking at, that gas prices are not going to come back down, and gets upset about it. Never mind that I remember watching the president's interview with Maria Bartiromo last Sunday, and he said something similar. He said it could be around the midterms, they could go up, they could go down, or it could be even...
And we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I think, honestly, here's the thing. If gas prices have to be high for a little bit in order to make it to where the Iranian people are free without having to deal with the asshole Ayatollah government, life's great. And look, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be opened up soon enough again. Look, this just shows the U.S. is on a roll, all right? What Donald Trump is doing, like I said, I really do believe he's playing 4D chess. Gas prices are going to go down. Once the Strait of Hormuz is fully open, once the U.S. takes over Karg Island or whatever, I think it's going to be fine. I think everything's going to be A-okay at the end of the day.
even higher.
Yeah,
a little bit higher, he said.
He said it could be even higher.
And you guys don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow, so the more subscribers we get, the better. So like I said, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. We're at 10,137 subs. Once again, we're at 10,137 subscribers. So if you guys can help us on our growth path and tap that subscribe button, man, let's go.
What I was just about to say, he literally said that at that moment. When he said that, it immediately stuck out because the message from the Republican Party since the onset of this war has been, don't worry, gas prices are going to come down. It's okay. They don't have a...
They are, dude. Gas prices are absolutely coming down. Are you kidding me? You guys are just pissed because Trump's winning the war. You guys are just pissed that Trump is actually winning. That's the problem that CNN has right now. They're pissed. Trump is winning. Trump is winning the war. That is what's got CNN's panties up in a bunch. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty damn obvious.
plan to deal with gas prices. Their plan is to hope the war ends and that Americans will start seeing relief. So when the president starts saying something that completely undercuts that, that's one thing. And then he hears his energy secretary speak the truth, because gas prices, as we know, they go up very quickly and they take a very long time to subside. And this is going to be a real political problem. The speaker knows it. The party knows it, which is why they're not quite sure how they're going to deal with it.
Emily, I know you've been traveling out. I know you were in Iowa. Maybe you've done other traveling since you and I last spoke. But talking to voters who are going to decide whether or not to blame Republicans for the way that they see the economy going, gas prices specifically. And as you answer, I just want to show a latest.
Why would you blame Republicans? I mean, sure, you could say for the moment that, yeah, you could blame the Republicans for the short-term gas price spikes. This was going to happen. This was an inevitability. And this was look, this is some of the prices that you have to pay to make the world a safer place. Look, we just knocked out the #1 state sponsor of terror. That is going to have so many good reverberations, because Iran not only first off, they killed their own citizens for protesting. That's one thing to keep in mind. Iran's government was also enriching uranium to near weapons grade. That's another thing you guys got to remember. And third, like I said, they are the #1 state sponsor of terror. Why are Democrats actually siding with Iran? Like, why are they so against this? And I think the reason that they're against this war is because it's Trump doing it. If it was Obama doing this, if it was Biden doing this, the Democrats would have no problem. In fact, they would probably be glazing Obama. They would be glazing Biden. And if Harris and Tim Walz were in office and they did this, they would have been glazing.
Laugh out loud. Trump is a thing lie. MAGA is dead. Find a new hero.
No, MAGA's not gone, dude. Dark City 20, thank you, Dark City 2004 for the super chat. I'm going to answer this super chat, and let me put it back up on the board.
Laugh out loud. Trump is a thing lie. MAGA is dead. Find a new hero.
No, MAGA's still going, dude. MAGA is still strong, right? MAGA is still strong, all right? There's so many woke people, dude. So many woke people don't understand that MAGA is still pretty strong, man. MAGA's not going anywhere, bro. In fact, if anything, there's a resurgence in the MAGA movement because we're tired of the left telling us it's dead. Do you think that people who are in MAGA want to vote Democrat? No. They know the Democrat Party's toxic and they believe in communism and socialism. MAGA's not dead. It may have gone a little underground at the moment, but it ain't dead. And I'm proud to say that I voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. I'm proud of it. Because I don't want Democrats to have any power over me. Democrats, when they have power, they act like authoritarians. They do. You don't want the Democrats to rule every single... you don't want because the Democrats can't even define what a woman is. Democrats are not... And by the way, the Democrat Party is very unfavorable right now. You think that, it's so funny. The Republican Party is not popular, but the Democrat Party is even more unpopular. I think a lot of people are just tired of the two-party system at this point. They're sick of it. They're like, we're just done with the two-party system completely. Can't say I blame them. Cannot say I blame them. So, I mean, I think a lot of people are done with the two-party system, if we're going to be quite frank. I think we need a third option. I mean, there's obviously third parties, but third parties are not taken seriously by the majority of the American public. The third party should be. A third party should always be taken seriously by the American public, without a doubt. And I think I'm right at the end of the day. Hopefully. Hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. If not, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm not a fan of the Democrat Party or the Republican Party. I'm definitely, I like the MAGA movement. I love Donald Trump. I think he's great. Obviously, if I have to choose between the lesser of two evils, I'm going to choose the Republicans. So, yeah, I definitely want J.D. Vance to be the president in 2028. Absolutely. I think by 2028, even if Trump could run a third term, I think he would just be too old by then to still be the president. So I would like to see J.D. Vance continue the MAGA movement. And hopefully he's willing to continue the MAGA movement. But we'll see, man. We'll see. J.D. Vance is also the man of the people. He's a man of the people, man. I'm a J.D. Vance fan. I really do like Vance. I'm a huge Vance fan. But yeah, anyway.
poll from over the weekend. This is a Quinnipiac University poll. How much do you blame President Trump for rising gas prices? 65% say a lot or some.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I don't blame people. You want to blame Trump for the rising gas prices? Absolutely. That's accurate because, look, he knew what he was doing. Look, my boy knew what he was doing. All right. And that's fine. Look, sometimes you're going to have temporary hurt to get continued, you know what I mean, continued progress. There are going to be ups and downs in energy prices, especially when something like this happens. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz probably should have been anticipated for a little bit. I think they need to continue to, if they need to continue to bomb Karg Island, bomb some of those facilities. Basically, we got to make it to where Iran has no teeth. We got to defang Iran. And the best way to defang Iran is to take out the rest of Iran's military. I think that's a big deal. Once the rest of Iran's military is taken out, I think we're on the right path overall. So that's the way I look at it. Just defang Iran. I mean, I just, it's not a hard equation to solve. It's not a hard equation to solve. Just defang Iran. Get rid of Iran's entire leadership. Get rid of their entire military. A weak Iran is a good Iran for the Middle East. Absolutely. A weakened Iran is a great Iran for the Middle East. Why not? If you guys think that a weak Iran is good, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are tired of the left dissing on Trump, tap the subscribe button. If you guys are just tired of the left in general, subscribe to the channel. Let's go, dude. We're tired of the left on this channel. We're independent media. We're tired of the mainstream media acting like this war is the worst thing in the world, when in all actuality, the left has been wanting to do this for a long time. Trump has the cojones to make it happen. That's the difference between Trump and any other president we've had in history. He has the cojones to make things happen. He takes massive levels of action. Okay? Trump takes massive levels of action. That's the difference between Trump and any of our other wussy leaders in the past. But thank you for the $2 super chat, though. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, MAGA's still going, dude. MAGA's still going strong, bro. I know there's a lot of haters. I get it. No, and this basically, it's funny. I know I've been saying that it's the Iran war, but honestly, Iran hasn't been able to put up much of a fight. It's more like the Iran annihilation, not the Iran war. I think I should be rephrasing it, because Iran has been completely cooked each and every step of the way. Iran is getting cooked and cooked and cooked every step of the way. Iran just doesn't have a prayer. And I think anybody who understands where I'm coming from knows I'm right. Iran just doesn't have a shot. Iran's already lost this conflict, and the Democrats are essentially trying to defend Iran by clipping Donald Trump's wings, essentially, like Maria said, by the War Powers Act. If them trying to enable the War Powers Act is basically them saying you can't, because he's the commander-in-chief. He has every right to control the military in this conflict, or at least direct the military in any way that needs to be done. So Trump's the man, dude. Trump's the man. That's all I got to say. By the way, we're at 10,142 subscribers. Once again, we're at 10,142 subscribers. So you guys don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner once again. Help us grow as a channel. We're a little smaller for sure, but if you guys can, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It really does help the channel grow.
Small wiener
We're
gang.
smaller, and we're trying to get bigger, And let's give a shout out to a couple people. Let's give a shout out to Thomas Yegavan.
Small wiener gang.
Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, Thomas Yegavan. Everybody give a shout out, man. If you guys want to subscribe, don't forget to subscribe. Let's give a shout out to Spark of Light. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it big time. Spark of Light, everybody. Give a shout out, bro. So anybody who wants to subscribe, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. So the more subscribers we get, the more we thrive as a channel. And thank you guys for helping out.
Yeah, so I was in Nevada and Arizona last week and Iowa the week before. So I feel like I've talked to people from a lot of different parts of the country who feel different ways about the gas price issue. But one thing I will say is it feels still a little bit early to draw conclusions because, to your point.
Yeah, by the way, and she's right. It is early to draw conclusions because this is a temporary hike in price. You know, it's so funny. A lot of Democrats were saying it's going to be $200 a barrel for crude oil. No, it's not, because this is only a Strait of Hormuz. And by the way, the only thing this hurts is China. It hurts China, and I think it hurts like some European countries, I think. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz at the end of the day doesn't hurt everybody. It does have a reverberating effect back home because obviously gas prices go up. But once this is done and over with, I'm not going to say there's going to be absolute peace in the Middle East. But I will say this, the fact that you defanged Iran, who has been honestly the number one state sponsor of terror and has been awful for years, and no president has gone after him. They've talked about it. Trump actually did something about it, and the Democrats are pissed because they were not the ones who did something about it, because the Democrats don't have the cojones to go after Iran. They are all talk and no walk. Donald Trump walks the walk, he talks the talk. He does what it takes. So, look, Trump's the man. I don't care what you guys say. There's a lot of leftists in the chat who are really pissed at me right now for saying that Trump's the man. I'm going to say it again. Trump is the man. And to all the leftists in the chat, feel free to get angry. Feel free to get upset. Let it all out, dude. That's what my chat's for. If you leftists want to spill your guts and be angry, that's what the chat's for. Feel free to say whatever you got to say. Because here's the thing. No matter how many Democrats whine in my chat about how unfair the war is and how terrible it is, it's like, no, Donald Trump's doing the right thing, and you guys are pissed off that it was Donald Trump doing the right thing and not a Democrat leader. Because most Democrat leaders, if we're going to be honest, don't have the balls. They don't have the balls. Period. End of story. Trump has the cojones to do this. So if you guys think that Trump's the man, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you guys want JD Vance 2028, let's go. Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. If you guys are tired of the left, if you guys are tired of the woke agenda and tired of the Democrats trying to sabotage this, tap the subscribe button, man. Let's go.
Point, gas prices go up so quickly that I think voters intuitively believe the president that they will also come down quickly. Like, it doesn't really make sense to somebody who's not following the intricacies of the market that it would take so long for them to fall. And so it's still been a relatively short period of time. They're believing him that the second he kind of decides to end the war, gas prices will fall. But right now, there's certainly, as you see there, a lot of frustration, and that's reflected in conversations I've had.
Yeah, it feels like the back and forth with the Energy Secretary speaks to something I think it's hurt Trump consistently in the second term. You can't really acknowledge reality, and even his Energy Secretary doing so in words that he is similar.
Oh, God. They're saying, no, Trump is acknowledging the reality of the situation. Trump actually has acknowledged fully the reality of the situation. He understands that Iran should not have any nuclear capabilities. That's a huge deal. Like, Iran should have no nuclear capabilities, period, end of story. That is why this war is necessary. And to those of you who don't understand why the war is a necessary one, I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know what to tell you. It's just wild to me that people don't see that he's actually making all the right moves. And yeah, they just can't see it. They refuse to see it. And it's just the way it is. And that's the way it is. But no, I love what Trump is doing. I think what Trump is doing is fabulous. And look, to all the leftists in the chat who are getting pissed off at me for praising Trump, I'm going to keep praising him. I'm going to keep glazing. I think he's doing the right thing. And yeah, the war in Iran is absolutely necessary. It absolutely is. Why isn't it not? I don't understand, man. But no, thank you guys. I really appreciate everybody. Oh man, this is amazing. Amazing. No, but Trump's the man, dude. Trump is zaddy. Trump's the GOAT, dude. But yeah, Trump's the man, dude. That's all I got to say. Trump is the GOAT. I think people are jealous. I think people are jealous that he's actually making all the right choices here. Yeah, obviously.
What we said has caused some of his ire, and I think it just speaks to some of how a lot of these crises are self-imposed. Like, voters can, I think.
How are these self-imposed? Tell me how they're self-imposed. What are you talking about? None of it. Trump is doing the right thing. By the way, the only bad thing that's happened so far is that oil prices have gone up a little bit. That's the only negative repercussion that's happened so far. Oil prices go up. Ooh, everybody's sad. It's like, no, dude, come on.
And I've heard some make the association between tariffs and the rising inflation. And Donald Trump has really made that easy for folks because it's not as if these crises were imposed on him. They're ones that he has driven. And so I think it's been reflected not just in the polling you showed, but his approval ratings now to 37%, lowest he's seen. And we see some signs of disapproval rating rising.
Let's show. We
among
actually
some
have one we were going to
Republicans,
show.
too.
Let's put it up on the screen. This is from NBC. This is about President Trump's handling of the war. And this is approval, which I think probably is driving the rest of his approval ratings. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And I was saying that there was the right track, wrong track numbers in that polling are the highest since it's been in his second term. And, as I was mentioning, the Republican approval rating, the amount of Republicans who say they strongly approve of him is going down, too. And so I think although...
No, I still strongly approve of Trump. I do. I absolutely strongly approve of Trump. I think what he's doing is fabulous. He's doing the right things. He's doing the right stuff, man. I know that Democrats can't handle the fact that he's doing all the right stuff, but he is. He really is. And I'm just sick of the Democrats being so cray-cray, Done with the woke, dude. Done with the woke. We're done with the wokes, okay? We're tired of the wokes.
There has been some question about whether the schism and MAGA among, the Megyn Kellys or Tucker Carlson's represented his true coalition. It could be that...
Dude, I love Tucker Carlson, by the way. Tucker's the man.
They're more of a leading indicator and that we're going to see the public, particularly as gas prices come through the summer, might show more of that split on the Republican side.
I mean, the real problem is that they never, even from the beginning of this war, ever really sold it to the American public. So we came in knowing with very low... People didn't want to go to war to begin with. And typically, and when we've seen in conflicts past, war support for war decreases over time, and that is exactly what happened here. He already started.
Dude, this war has only been going on for like 7 weeks, and it's practically over. It's pretty much is over. Basically, Trump does not want to annihilate Iran. Trump wants to avoid that if at all possible. He really does. He threatens it, absolutely, but he does want to try to avoid it. He doesn't want to annihilate them, but if they don't come to the table and they don't work with him, he'll have no other choice. He'll have no other choice but to make it happen.
The low point, it's getting worse, and especially as people are getting hit with high gas prices. I hear some members of Congress tell me, well, there's constituents, voters, they're okay with it's a patriotic duty to pay more for gas because of prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. But that is not the message that...
Absolutely. That should be the message. That absolutely should be the message because we should pay a little bit extra at the pump. We should pay a little extra at the pump because if that's all it costs us to have a freer world, to make it to where Iran doesn't threaten the world anymore, that's good. We don't want Iran threatening the world anymore. We don't want that. Come on, man. You don't want that to happen. Come on, brother. You know you don't want Iran threatening the world, right? Come on. You know you don't want Iran threatening the world. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Hold on. I'm going to start another goal. I'm going to start a gift goal. I'm so angry right now. I'm so pissed. Thank you so much, Tiny Lion Gaming. I do appreciate the 100 for 10 jewels, for 2 jewels. Actually, we got our gift goal going. So, yeah, anyway, Trump's the man. Trump's doing the right stuff. I love what Trump is doing. So everybody who doesn't love what Trump is doing, that's fine. You guys could do whatever you guys want to do, but Trump's the man at the end of the day, and you guys are jealous that Trump is actually a successful president and that the Democrats can't find a good leader. You guys are pissed about
a lot of Republicans are saying right now.
And it's about the expectation game. One of President Trump's ticks, if you will, has historically been 2 weeks. Anything that's going to happen in 2 weeks, whether it's a plan or something is going to end or going to begin, that has been the case since the beginning of this war with Iran. Let's watch.
It's going to be finished pretty quickly.
I do see a deal in Iran, yeah.
Mr. President.
Could be soon.
We are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close.
I think
Yeah, we're in the 8th week of this, so it's 2 months in. We're entering the 2-month mark, and I think it's pretty much done. I mean, Trump doesn't want a forever war. That's one thing he's going to say. He doesn't want a forever war, and this doesn't even need to be one. This does not need to be a forever war by any means necessary. It doesn't. Why would it need to be? You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be a forever war. Now, Trump's the man, dude. Trump doesn't want one. He doesn't want a forever war. You know it, and I know it. I think you guys can acknowledge that. He doesn't want a forever war. Period. End of story.
it's close to over. Yeah, I mean, I view it as very close to over. I will say the war in Iran is going along
It's
swimmingly.
absolutely over, dude.
We can
it's totally pretty much
do
over.
whatever we want. And it should be ending pretty soon.
It should be.
It's going to end soon. So that's what the people are hearing, and it's not happening.
It's here. It's going to end soon. It's going to end tomorrow. It's going to end in 2 weeks. And I think Manu's point is an important one. That comes after they never laid out a clear reasoning to the American public going into this, never coordinated with allies. And I really think Trump, across the board, has lost a lot of credibility and narrative-setting power in this second term. And so I think he's used to being able to say.
Most normal Americans, by the way, so I just want to say this. The average American that agrees with Trump, by the way, a lot of people agree with Trump more than you realize. The polls may not say that they, by the way, the only people who do polls are Democrats. Most Republicans don't have the time to do a poll. They have more important things to do. Democrats, though, tend to have plenty of time on their hands. I will say there are Republicans who are self-employed like myself who have a little more time on my hands sometimes, but I'm usually busy doing something that's worthwhile, at least to me. So, no, I think I think Trump's the man. I think Trump is making all the right moves.
Small wiener gang.
And by the way, thank you to Miss B. Simmons. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Tiny Lion Gaming, for the 100 for 2 jewels. That really means a lot. So everybody give a shout out to Miss B. Simmons for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Let's keep going, man. But yeah, most Republicans don't even bother doing polls because they have other things in their lives that they want to do. The only people who fill out polls are Democrats, which is why the polls are often wrong. The average American actually probably supports Donald Trump, if I was to take a good guess. If I was to go into the psychology of the average American thinks the left is utterly insane. And most people who are fence sitters, I consider myself kind of a fence sitter sometimes, but I'm pretty much anti-Democrat, so I guess I'm not a fence sitter. I know I will never go on the side of the Democrats. I mean, I may agree with them on a couple of issues, but I will never vote for a Democrat is what I'm saying. I refuse I refuse to vote for Democrats. Period, end of story. The Democrat Party lost me a long time ago, and this is why, seriously, Democrats or anybody who sides with the Democrats, I feel bad for you, man. Yeah, I mean, if you believe that communism and socialism are good ideas when they have historically proven to be false and terrible, bad ideas, I mean, that's kind of on you at the end of the day for making a bad choice. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Man. Just saying, bro. Just saying.
I'll do this then, or I'll do that then, and the base only will follow along. And it's not as if we're seeing like a huge thing in terms of the numbers, but I think that power, that determinative power, is getting less so. And so you're seeing some of those cracks among Republican caucus, and I just think more so his MAGA coalition went beyond the strict party. And so those type of people he brought in are the ones most likely to be upset by some of these actions.
Yeah, I mean, when 2/3 of people.
Dude, I'm MAGA. I wouldn't say I'm like full on board or anything like that, but I'm pretty Make America Great Again. I believe in the vision. I love what Trump's doing. I'm 100% on board with this. Iran's government is absolutely, utterly terrible. This needed to happen. What Trump is doing needed to happen. Period. End of story. And I really believe that. What Trump is doing needed to happen. That's all there is to it. I think if you guys look within your heart of hearts, you guys will realize I'm right. I think you guys will realize I'm right. Absolutely. Anyway, let's keep going.
Responding disapprove of the way you're handling the war. It's not great, and obviously they know that at the White House, which is why they have talks coming, and they're trying desperately to wrap it up.
Do you believe the price of oil and gas?
Well, first off, it's already been wrapped up. The only people who are delaying the talks are Iran. Iran has been delaying the talks till the last second. I think Trump needs to just put a hard line and just say, if you guys don't come to the table, you're cooked. If you guys don't come to the table, you're cooked. That's it. Period. End of story. And it needs to be an unconditional surrender. Thank you, Tiny Lion Gaming, for the jewels. Tiny Lion Gaming's loading me up with 100s for 2 jewels. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it, Tiny Lion Gaming. You're the man, dude. Tiny Lion Gaming says. But no, Trump's on the right track, and I think you guys are aware of this. I think you guys are absolutely aware that Trump's on the right path.
Will be lower before the midterm elections?
I hope so. I mean, I think so. It could be. It could be or the same or maybe a little bit higher.
How much longer will Americans continue to see these high gas prices?
Well, they're not very high. If you look at
as long as they need to be. As long as Iran is as long as Trump is making the world a safer place by defanging Iran, I'm all for it. Look, Iran has been a thorn in everybody's side, especially in the Middle East, and they've honestly disrupted the global markets in more ways than one. So it's like, I really don't trust Iran, period, end of story. I just don't. I don't know anybody could. I really don't. It's insane to me. It's insane to me how anybody trusts Iran at all. How can you trust one of the most unstable governments of all time? Number one state sponsor of terror. Killing their own citizens, enriching uranium to near weapons grade. I'm sorry. Those 3 criteria make it to where Iran's government deserves everything they're getting right now. Iran's government is deserving everything they're getting right here, right now. I think you know I'm right. I think a lot of people know I'm right on this one. Come on, you guys got to know I'm right, right? You know I'm right. Period. End of story.
At what they were supposed to be in order to get rid of a nuclear weapon with the danger that entails.
President Trump pushed back on Energy Secretary Chris Wright's comments this morning, telling The Hill that Wright is, quote, totally wrong, his words, totally wrong about it potentially taking until next year for gas prices to drop below $3 a gallon. Let's go live right now to our senior business reporter, David Goldman. David, how should consumers interpret these very different messages from the White House, and when might we actually start seeing gas prices?
I'm just surprised Wolf Blitzer hasn't retired, man. I'm actually shocked that Wolf Blitzer hasn't retired, dude. The guy's super duper old. I mean, dude, he could retire at any time. The dude has made so much money on CNN. I mean, the only thing I can think of is he maybe just he does it for the love of the game. He may still be an anchor for the love of the game. I mean, I plan on doing YouTube for as long as YouTube exists for the love of the game. I really do. I do this show. Obviously, I like to make money from the show. Don't get me wrong. But I also do it for the love of the game. I really do enjoy actually reacting to shit. It is kind of funny, but I also enjoy watching your guys' reactions to my reactions in the chat, because there are some people who have a visceral reaction to some of my reactions. I love it. I think it's hilarious. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep flowing.
Returning to what they were before the war with Iran.
And you need to add in Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who said last week that we could have gas with a 3 in front of it in the summer. So what does that mean? Is it $3.99 or is it 3 with a couple zeros in front of it? There are active questions about when we would actually see $3. The thing to know is that oil needs to come down to historically around $60 a barrel before we start to see sub $3 prices, and we are nowhere close to that right now. We're in.
Well, that's fine. Look, if oil has to be higher and we have to take a bit of a hit on energy, okay, fine. So be it. People, it's so funny. Like, does high oil prices make it to where everything else goes up? Sure, absolutely. But it's not super high. Everybody said, oh, it's going to be like $200 a barrel. Dude, it's still under $100. It's still under $100. The markets reacted better than I thought they would. I'm actually looking at the market reactions today, and I'm just like, I'm actually kind of stunned. The markets have reacted far better than expected. Let's see. I mean, this is wild, man. Yeah, everything's looking pretty fancy. I was gonna say I'm looking at my portfolio real quick and just kind of taking a little bit of a gander, seeing what's happening here. Hold on, you guys. Just bear with me. Patience. Let's take a look at the poll real quick. We got 117 votes in 18 minutes. That's really good, by the way. 21% of you say that you'll tap the subscribe button, and 79% of you say no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So sad. Give me a second, you guys. Man, I got into PayPal when it was really, really low. Honestly, my investment in PayPal has paid dividends. Not actual dividends, but it's honestly done really well. Not financial advice, by the way. Never financial advice. Give me just a few seconds, everybody. One more moment. Just calm down. Oh, let's see. That one's gone up quite a bit. Omega Healthcare Investors. So I'm trying to keep as many REITs as I can. I keep a lot of REITs. EPD, Enterprise Products. But yeah, I've just been basically buying the dip whenever there's like a dip in, for example, like VSS has actually dipped not too much, but a little bit. Let's see, how far is VSS down today? 159. Yeah, I mean, they're down a little bit, but it's not too bad. I don't know. I think there's going to be a bull run here pretty soon, so... what was its 52-week high? Okay, so VSS's 52-week high was 161.71. I'm going to buy one more share just in case, because it is one of those that I'm Depends on how bullish I am. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I gotta have, because it could go up on a bull run. I could make a bit of a profit tomorrow. Who knows? So yeah, I always like to kind of put myself in good positions. And yeah, VSS though, man, it's solid. It's a good small cap one, and sometimes you got to put yourself in the right position, man. Put yourself in the right position. But yeah, it looks like my portfolio is doing really, really well. I have a lot of buying power. I have up to $10,000 worth of buying power in my portfolio. So I keep a lot of cash on reserve. Because I swing trade the VSS and the VTWO. So I do swing trade the volatility. I buy when they go low. But I also, when I'm like virtually down to no shares, I just buy a batch of shares and just see what direction they go. But I don't go all in on any particular fund, but I do try to capitalize on any of the ups and downs of a particular ETF. That is one thing I like to do. So playing the volatility is something that I'm really addicted to. Playing the volatility of silver, though, is very fun. I think investing in silver ETFs is pretty cool. It's a lot easier than going to like a pawn shop and buying silver, in my opinion. I would rather just swing trade the silver ETF and call it good. Battlefield update, Iranian general takes control.
Are we about to tip back into...
Well, we got another alert, everybody. Red alert, all hands, brace for impact. Let's see what's going on. Red alert, everybody. Red alert.
war against Iran? Well, look at what they just did. Central Command has released brand new video as Iranian-flagged ship tried to evade the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports, and the United States military jumped into action. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Our military fired on that cargo ship.
Get it, girl, get it.
And took out its engine room following a 6-hour standoff. CENTCOM says that ship ignored repeated warnings to turn around.
Yep.
Before the U.S. Navy issued this message.
Navy had to do what they had to do, man.
Vacate
Absolutely.
Your engine room. Vacate your engine room. We're prepared to subject you to disabling fire.
Okay, we gave the flare. Now we're getting. Be ready.
Shit, dude, that's crazy.
So what had Iran been doing for hours out there? Well, they decided to try to take over the Strait of Hormuz. And
Idiots, dude. Why? Iran just wants to get destroyed. I mean, Iran's government just wants to be destroyed. That's the only conclusion I can draw. Iran's government just wants to self-annihilate. Only conclusion I could draw is that Iran just doesn't care anymore. Iran's just like, we're done. They just want to burn out. It's better to burn out than fade away, I guess. I don't know, man.
We're attacking ships, all reportedly ordered by an Iranian National Guard commander that you see there on your screen. He has taken over the military and all diplomatic operations.
So this general, the IRGC commander Ahmad Vahidi, let's take a look at his stats. His previous positions: commander of IRGC Quads Force Team, 1988, defense minister, 2009, interior minister, 2021. Known for hardline views on domestic and foreign policy and under sanctions from U.S., Canada, and the EU. So I don't really know if this could be worse or better. I have zero clue. We'll see. Let's have Faulkner educate us on this. I do. Harrison Faulkner, she's a cool gal. I like this gal.
Freezing out so-called moderates in the Islamic regime. The IRGC forced multiple ships to turn around in the Strait of Hormuz over the weekend.
I do want to thank you guys for subscribing, by the way. If you guys can, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow. If you guys are tired of the left and you guys want to support independent media, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys think that Donald Trump is making all the right moves and all the right decisions, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And let's keep going, man.
And then opened fire on some of them. Marine traffic 24-hour snapshot shows the path of an Indian flag tanker before and after it was attacked. again, by Iran. And you can see it entering the strait before doubling back quickly to try to get away from the IRGC commander's fire. President Trump posted about Iran's aggressive actions on Sunday, saying, in part, Iran's attacks violated the ceasefire agreement with the U.S. And more now out of CENTCOM just this past hour. Again, new video, the blockade.
So why is everybody hating on my love of Donald Trump? Can you guys explain to me why you guys are hating on me? What did I do to you, bro? The only thing I'm guilty of is thinking that Trump is the man. All right? That's the only thing I'm guilty of. Only thing I'm guilty of is just being tired of the Iranian government. I think we're all tired of the Iranian government. We all have Iranian government fatigue. That's true. And by the way, we're at 10,155 subs. Once again, 10,155 subscribers. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys. You guys have been incredible. You guys have kept this show afloat. You guys have made this show what it is, a good show, an incredible show. So I want to thank everybody who subscribed to the channel. So don't forget to subscribe in the upper right-hand corner. Little buttons up there. 10,155 subs. Help us with our continued growth. And be a part of the journey, man. Be a part of this crazy brony bro journey. Because we're going to get there one day. Somewhere over the rainbow.
Being enforced, 27 vessels directed to turn around so far.
United States warship 115. You are entering an area of a military blockade. This blockade of Iranian ports will be enforced and applies to all vessels regardless of flag. Any vessel that further intends to enter or exit an Iranian port will be subject to the right of visit and search in accordance with international law. If you attempt to run the blockade, we will compel compliance with force. Over.
So we are getting almost real-time action in the Strait of Hormuz. Not much delay between this new video and the action that's happening to give the world an idea of exactly why we are there. This is a country that wants nuclear weapons. Wow. Vice President J.D. Vance will lead the command round 2 of negotiations in Islamabad, Pakistan, along with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. It's still unclear if Iran's people will actually show up. The current ceasefire expires this Tuesday night. Vice Admiral Robert Harwood is a former deputy commander of U.S. CENTCOM, and he will join me moments from now. First, let's go to Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yinks on the ground in Tel Aviv. Trey.
Yeah, hey, Harris, good morning. CENTCOM says U.S. forces seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship in the Gulf of Oman that was trying to get through the U.S. Navy blockade. President Trump posted to Truth Social overnight saying, in part, quote, the Iranian crew refused to listen, so our Navy ship stopped them right in their tracks by blowing a hole in the engine room. Right now, U.S. Marines have custody of the vessel. The ship remains in U.S. custody at this moment. At least 24 other vessels were turned around over the weekend, complying with U.S. orders. The incident came 24 hours after Iran's IRGC fired on 2 vessels trying to pass through the Strait of Hormuz in violation of the ceasefire. Now the question remains if a broader agreement will be reached this week. The ceasefire is set to expire in less than 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're cooked. Iran's cooked. If they don't actually come to the table and agree, then Trump's going to have no other option but to unleash holy hell upon the Iranian government. I mean, this is serious, man. We're getting to a boiling point. This is a boiling point. This is a boiling point, man. I love what Trump's doing, though. I love what Trump's doing, man. I know there's a lot of people out there like, oh, Trump's so bad. Trump's a terrible person. Blah, blah, blah. Worst president ever. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to whine. I'm going to be a liberal, and I'm going to keep whining because I'm a lib. Yeah, no, keep whining, liberals. Keep whining. Keep your whining up. Keep crying. Keep complaining because it's all you know how to do. At the end of the day, a liberal will always be angry about something. If there's one thing I've learned about liberals, they always find something to get pissed off about, something to get enraged about, and they can't find any level of peace or solace in their own life, so they have to seek external problems to justify why their life sucks.
spoke with President Trump over the weekend, who told me if this deal isn't done, the deal that we made, that I'm going to take out their bridges and their power plants. He went on to say if they don't sign this thing, the whole country is going to get blown up. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson held a press conference this morning indicating that Iran has not agreed to attend talks in Islamabad, Pakistan tomorrow and is currently reviewing U.S. proposals.
We witnessed that the United States insisted on bad faith and violation of the ceasefire. All of this is evidence that the United States apparently does not show seriousness in the diplomatic process.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Dude, the United States has been nothing but accommodating. It is Iran who has been unserious in these negotiations. You guys keep threatening your neighbors. You guys keep bombing your neighbors. You keep bombing ships. You keep shooting missiles at ships and gunfire at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Come on, man. It is you guys in Iran who have been completely unserious about doing anything. And I think you know I'm right, dude. Is Iran going to take the deal ultimately? I don't know. I think they're going to be too stupid. I think they're going to make the wrong moves. I think Iran's going to be stupid. I think Iran's going to do the stupid thing. They're going to be idiots. They're going to ruin this for themselves. They really are. And it's pretty obvious they are. It's what they do. It's what Iran does best is they ruin they ruin the situation for themselves. You know, it's like, it's the truth. It's just what Iran does, dude. Iran just makes things tougher for themselves. Doesn't even need to be that tough. It doesn't. But let's keep going, man.
Reports indicate top IRGC commanders are actually in charge of what can be given up at the negotiating table. And at this moment, Harris, we don't even know if Iran will attend the talks. Harris?
Trey, thank you very much for all the latest on this. And focus now, Vice Admiral Robert Harwood, a former deputy commander of the U.S. CENTCOM, a retired U.S. Navy SEAL. Great to see you today. What can you tell me about the Marine Expeditionary Unit, which I know made a big difference in what happened over the weekend?
Well, they've been trained to do this exact mission, board, search, and seize ships that, especially in this case, are trying to avoid the blockade. So our Navy Marine forces have been doing this mission for decades. They're well trained, they're well executed. And as you saw, they gave them all the warnings. They set the stage. Hey, guys, we told you there's a blockade. Stop. If you don't, we're going to disable you. So the Navy ship.
Yeah, so the Iran ship kept going. It was like, oh, you're not going to do anything. And then, boom, they did something.
Shot them, stopped them in the waters. The Marine boarded them and took control. So we said we could do this. We've done it for decades, and this administration's going to hold to that. So it's a clear message to the IRGC. Hey, we're telling you what we're doing every step of the way. So when you come to the negotiations, understand you're going to capitulate, or we're just going to ramp it up.
Yeah, Iran's so cooked, dude. Iran is so freaking cooked.
More.
Talk to me about the IRGC. And there's this new commander, apparently. I don't know how new he is, but he's taken over, and diplomatic negotiations over there in Iran. What does that mean to you? Because you
guys, don't forget to double tap your screen to like the stream. One more time, double tap the screen to like the stream. We're really growing on YouTube quite a bit, so the more likes we get, the better. So don't forget to double tap the screen to like the stream. It really does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. Keep going.
You and I have talked a number of times now. I don't think it's any great surprise that they have other people who want to be radical within their government. But this guy's firing on ships. He's ordering those things to happen.
What's the whole IRGC? They are the core of the regime and the Islamic Revolution. They are the muscle. They are the guys who are suppressing the people, threatening and conducting offensive operations. So again, and this leader, because especially from the Israeli campaign where they've targeted the IRGC leadership, and this guy's probably going to have that same problem, they're going to fight to the death, because at the end of the day, we're going to get them all. And even those who don't go, when this thing turns at the end, they're going to be held accountable by the people of Iran. So the IRGC numbers about 120 to 150,000 when they started the war, and the leadership are the real ideologues. So those are the guys we got to be focused on targeting, and that's how we bring a real enduring peace and end to this conflict, by making sure the
Without a doubt, brother, without a doubt.
IRGC is eradicated at the end of the day.
You know, that's really helpful, what you just gave us there. Vice Admiral, you said there are between 103 and 150,000 of them, give or take all those we've taken out and that Israel has taken out. That's a lot larger than the IRGC than maybe people had realized. So that's some interesting information. A top method the regime uses to stop traffic in the Strait is to inject risk by planting sea mines in the waterway. Also,
yeah, and this is something that pisses me off, is that they, of course they're going to do that. They're going to put mines in the seaways, because it's what Iran does. It's what the IRGC does, dude. It's unfortunate. Let's keep going, man.
Also adding a level of danger to the Strait. The Wall Street Journal now is reporting on all of it, how the U.S. is using drones to clear those mines, a method that reduces the danger to sailors and could give the U.S. negotiating leverage if they help open the waterway. What's your reaction to that?
Well, drone warfare is the future. That's what Iran's been using to block the U.S. Their drones that they've shot at ships, shot at bases, shot as infrastructure. They're using it as an offensive weapon. We're using drones as a defensive weapon to provide intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, to watch the Straits of Hormuz, to look for mines. So you can see where all this is going. And look, when we lost a pilot, that almost brought us to a stop. It was too high risk. So the more we leverage and use aircraft that don't need people, the less at risk we can do, and we can move to the scale we need to. Also, the hardest part about manned aircraft is the pilots. We've got to train them.
Hey, thank you, Larson Christopher, for sending the 100 for 2 joules. I appreciate it big time, Brony. Thank you, bro. Hell yeah. Anytime we get gifts, if anybody wants to send a gift, by the way, gifts do help the channel a lot. Even the simple act of sending like a little tiny, like, I don't know, one of those like little, what do you call them? Like even like a happy poop yum yum. If you guys want to send happy poop gifts, we love happy poops. The happy poop gift is our favorite virtual gift on YouTube. So anytime you guys want to send a happy poop for 10 joules, I appreciate it, man. I'm all about the happy poop yum yums. Okay, so thank you, Larson. Though I appreciate the 100 for 2 joules, man.
We got to find them. We got to retain them. If we remove that part of the equation, then you can fly thousands of drones. And that's what our adversaries are doing. That's what the Ukrainians did to balance the power against the Russians. Mm-hmm. That's what the Iranians have done with us. So you could see the future of where these drones are going to do and how it's really going to balance the power and hopefully act as a deterrent to the use of force at the end of the day.
Again, another fascinating part of this puzzle that we are literally watching almost in real time with so much video. And when you talk about that pilot, that was really a hinge point, perhaps, those 2 pilots who were in that plane, one who was stranded for 36 hours. And we did everything. We took everything we had to go get him, and we got him back. And we brought him home. And that was a huge signal, I would imagine, to not just Iran, but maybe enemies around the world that if you mess with us, we will come for you, and we will.
Don't mess with the U.S., bro. Do not mess with the U.S. Don't do it. Stay away.
Get our people out.
Paris, you're exactly right. Not only that, it illustrates we can go anywhere in Iran we want to do. This whole issue of highly enriched uranium, other places. If we want to put people in Iran to threaten this regime, we can do it. And this maritime interception of this crap where you basically put Marines on Iranian property, their ships, is another illustration of that. So if they don't capitulate and agree to our arrangements and the negotiations, they can anticipate a lot more than that, further threatening the regime. So you can see where this is going.
I think there's going to be a lot of pain for Iran. I think there's going to be a lot of pain for Iran if they don't get to the negotiation table, dude. Every Iranian tanker is going to get demolished. That's all there is to it, dude. It's dark. It's a dark, twisted world. It's dark, twisted, but I think we know what's happening, man. If you guys can, though, don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow. We're at 10,157 subs. Once again, we're at 10,157 subscribers, so I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time to sub to the channel. We've gotten every single day, man, we get more and more subscribers, and for that I want to thank you guys. Be a part of the growth. I mean, we're a 10K channel now, so we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're just going to keep streaming, man, because I enjoy streaming. I enjoy reacting to videos. I love giving my honest takes. And yeah, do I glaze Trump a little bit? Yeah, I love Trump. I think Trump's the man. I think he's the GOAT. Absolutely. I think Trump's the greatest president we've ever had. So whatever.
Going.
Mm-hmm. Right. They have until 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night of this week to make sure that they're going in the right direction. Otherwise, what you just described is going to keep happening. Admiral, thank you so very much. Always great to have you in focus. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Let's see, Trump, White House. Let's see. I think he gaggled with the press on Air Force One, maybe. Did he? I'm trying to see if he did. Hold on. No gaggling. Trump. Well, let's see what latest news there is. We'll see what the algorithm throws at me here. Let's see. Oh, this was released 46 minutes ago. Chaos talks. Iran negotiations spiral with conflicting voices. We got the big money show. Okay.
Anybody who has dealt with the Iranians will tell you it is often 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. They're incredibly slippery. They can't be trusted. We're not waiting. We're not trusting. We are reducing their capabilities. Their military is in shambles. Their missile program is in shambles. And now, hopefully, diplomatically, they will do it the easy way rather than the hard way of finally giving up on this illegal ambition.
The Iranian hardliners are back in control in Tehran, claiming to reclose the Strait of Hormuz. So are peace talks falling apart, or is this just the last gasp of an expiring regime? Well,
I think it's the last gasp of an expiring regime, man. I don't think they have much of a
welcome to
chance.
the Big Money Show. I'm Brian Brenberg, along with my co-host Taylor Riggs, Lou Bassanese, Jackie DeAngelis.
The Iran government just doesn't have it, man. I mean, Iran's government's cooked. Let's just face it. Give me a few moments, though. I'm going to pour myself a little bit of pomegranate juice. I gotta hydrate. good to be back.
And with us for the hour, Rosecliff founder and managing partner Mike Murphy. Good to see you, sir.
Happy to be here.
All right. The IRGC playing spoiler after Iran's pragmatists appeared to agree to peace terms. The ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is set to expire tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to agree to peace terms, though. That's the thing. I just don't have faith in Iran. I don't believe that the Iranian government wants peace. That's just something I don't believe. I just don't believe they want it at all. Look, I don't trust Iran. Period. End of story. I don't think anybody should in this instance. I don't understand why anybody would trust Iran. Iran has proven to be incredibly untrustworthy. I think you guys know that I'm right. I hope.
Tomorrow night. Wall Street not panicking. Oil up a bit and stocks holding steady after a big recovery last week. All right, Mike Murphy, you are Mr. Sunshine. You always see the positives.
Let's go.
Friday.
And yeah, you can't negotiate with terrorists. And here's the thing. The Iranian regime are basically terrorists. The current Iranian regime running the government are terrorists, whether you like to admit it or not. The reason that they're terrorists is because they've been the number one state sponsor of terror for a long time. They've been killing their own citizens. That's fucked up. And they've been enriching uranium at a massive scale. Like, put all those together, I think you have the Iranian regime that runs the government is really a terrorist organization and should be considered as such. It should be considered a terrorist organization. Period. End of story.
It was a little more positive, I would say, than today, but maybe you haven't lost hope. Tell us how you see things.
Tough to lose hope. Here comes the sunshine.
All right.
We had a great rally to where we're back in the green for the year, and we're in a better place with the situation in Iran than we were 6 or 8 weeks ago. The price of oil has come back down, but in the backdrop of all that is that when you look at our economy here, things are good to very good. Corporate earnings are very good to great. So the situation in Iran, they weren't going to just go away quietly. It's a terrorist regime. I think you couldn't have mapped it out better for where we are right now. We're in the best position we can be, and hopefully for their sake, they cut a deal.
Absolutely in the best position that you could be, without a doubt.
They don't. I think the president has a plan to deal with them. And we're going to come back to, at some point next week, next month, we're going to come back to the focus on the U.S. markets, on corporate earnings, and they're pretty good.
Taylor, I woke up this morning, thought I was going to see
Oh, we got number one fan of the show. The Zinc Roofer is the biggest fan of this show. We got the Zinc Roofer in the house. Zinc Roofer, how are you doing, Brony? Zinc Roofer is the number one fan of this show now.
Market way down. I thought it was going to be kind of a bloodshed day in the market.
I know.
Not happening.
Very.
Yeah, investors are not panicking. I know I'm not. Well, I was kind of hoping that investors would panic so I could buy more dips. But I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to plant my flag on a couple of ETFs that I like. And I'm a swing trader mostly. I would say actually 30 to 40% of my portfolio is swing traded, and that's only like 3 or 4 ETFs that I swing trade specifically. Yeah. I tell you what. But no, man, when it comes down to it, dude, I'm a swing trader through and through. I love swing trading. I think it's one of the smartest things that one can do is swing trade. Now gold is down at the moment. So gold is looking okay. It's GLD, expense ratio. It's IAU looking like. That's a good gold ETF. iShares Gold Trust. Here we go.
Give me a few seconds, everybody. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to buy one more share of the VSS because of just how diversified it is. You know, we could see the VSS go back up, but we could also see it go down too. It's very entirely possible. So, like I said, I swing trade the volatility. If we see VSS go down any further, obviously I'm going to buy it. But, you know, we're just planting our flag at 4 shares. We got Russell 2000's going up a little higher. A little bit higher than I wanted, but that's okay. That's why I'm buying the VSS, because I'm just going to kind of plant my flag on the VTWO for a little bit. But VSS is really my main one that I like to swing trade, just because it's got a high price point, but it's also massively diversified across the globe of small caps. That's just kind of how I do it for the most part, but yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Well-behaved market. For reasons that you cited, let me start with some superlatives. So Friday, we had a 13th straight day of gains for the NASDAQ, the longest winning streak since 1992. If today ends up being positive for tech, and it likely won't, it would be the longest winning streak, 14 days since 1987. That is showing you that this is a very well-behaved, resilient market, and it is.
Well, it's because everybody realizes that, first off, a lot of people like me did end up buying the dip, but there's a lot of people getting in because of FOMO. And I think that a lot of investors are basically predicting, and this is just showing that investors are pricing in the fact that Trump is going to get this all figured out, that they have faith in Trump. So yeah, I love what Trump is doing. I think he's on the right path. I think, people don't realize he's on the right path, man. People just don't realize it. And yeah. But thank you all for joining in. I really appreciate it. Let's keep going.
There are a few good things underway. I think some of the recent rally has been some of that short covering. So the good news is we can kind of get back to fundamentals. If there is good news and we see gains, that's good. If there is some negative news and you see losses, that's okay. Because here's why. First quarter earnings, to Mike's point, have been very strong. Brian, we've had about 10% of the S&P 500 so far. 86% are beating on the top line. 90% are beating on the bottom line. Earnings growth is still expected to be 17% this year. So far, we've had 30%.
And don't get me wrong, I want to see the VSS actually go down a little bit further. So if the VSS goes down a little bit further, I'm pretty stoked about that. It's kind of what I'm looking for, man.
Earnings growth year over year, very strong. That number likely will come down because we've only had 10% reporting, and the number will normalize. But again, 17% earnings growth, really, really strong. Plus, we're starting to get some of those refunds from tariffs. Today, I think, is the first day where we're starting to get disbursements. Let's watch and see how companies start to book that on their balance sheet. Finally, I'll just wrap it up and say, I think oil is the most. I know we talk about equities, we talk about bonds. I am floored by oil being so strong, and we're looking at Jackie here. Back when...
Yeah, because oil, surprisingly, oil prices didn't go up as much as I thought they would. I really am. It's crazy. It is honestly crazy, man.
Russia invaded Ukraine, the 6-month Brent futures were still over $100 barrel. So 4 years ago, when that happened...
Give me one moment, everybody. I do need to take a little bit of a tinkle. Just a small tinkle. I'll BRB. Hold on. While I'm in the bathroom, what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw up, here are some of the people who have subscribed and some of the people who have sent super chats over the last amount of hours or days or whatever. Whatever.
Laugh out loud. Don't you realize your daddy killed tourism?
Be right back, you guys. Hold on. I'm just throwing up a bunch of super chats and subscribers. These are people who have subscribed and super chatted over the last, 2 or 3 days. I haven't kept track.
Because this is sad and I pity you.
I figure this is good enough to put up on the screen while I'm taking a whiz. All right, BRB, you guys. BRB. Small Wiener Gang. Small Wiener Gang. Hell yeah, dude. Small Wiener Gang. Let's go. BRB. Small Wiener Gang. Small Wiener Gang.
Laugh out loud. When are you putting pudding on eyebrows again? Laugh out loud. Yeah, you pee in the sink. And you don't have brows.
Small Wiener Gang.
Laugh out loud. UFO files are more important than Diddy files.
Small Wiener Gang. But yeah, these are just some of the people who have subscribed.
Laugh out loud. Vernon eats human waste.
All right, let's go, dude.
Laugh out loud.
Small Wiener Game. Double tap your screens.
Small
to like the
Wiener
stream if you guys
Gang.
think that Donald Trump's on the right path, man. Double tap your screen to like the stream.
And people thought this is going to be a long out, drag out fight. Right now, the 6 month is about $80 a
Laugh
barrel.
out loud.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I haven't heard
this
that
shows
oil
that the
at
market
flush
really
yet.
is seeing this as a short-lived in a market that can live through or get through this moment. So I guess to me, very encouraging what I continue to see in these oil markets.
Jackie, I read this headline
Small
in the
Wiener
Wall Street Journal
Gang.
this morning. Big oil plows billions into far-flung drilling sites to escape Iran turmoil. That's really interesting.
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
I mean, that has been the mantra since
Small
the president
Wiener
came into
Gang.
office. Just to speak to Taylor, what you were talking about with Russia, Ukraine, and remember, that was described to us as supposed to be a very quick war, supposed to not end up in huge conflict.
Small
we were
Wiener
just supposed to
Gang.
hand over money and hand over arms to the Ukrainians, and they were in a great position to take Vladimir Putin out. It is 4 years later, and that is still going on. That's why, to the point you're making, the confidence
Laugh
that
out
this market
loud.
has in Donald
Please
Trump.
do
and
not start
when he
singing
speaks
your
last
love
week, he said
songs.
this is essentially over, right? We might have two.
Yeah, this is over. I mean, the war in Iran has basically been cut and dry. It's over. And to people who don't realize that, Small Wiener Gang. Whatever.
Steps forward, 2 steps back. The market believes him, and I think the equities are showing that today. And even the spike in oil is pretty muted, given the fact that they're saying that Iranians now are playing games
Small
in the
Wiener
street again.
Gang.
I think what happened here is after the initial attack by Israel and also the United States, they took out that top rung of leadership, and the expectation was there
Small
would be
Wiener
a
Gang.
lot more disorganization amidst the ranks, and that I think this regime would fall faster than it did. I've been surprised at how organized they have been at their lower levels. But that's not to say
Small
that
Wiener
the
Gang.
situation is perfect, because they're still very fragmented. And I think what's happening here is you have certain people claiming to be in charge. They'll agree to terms that the president sets.
Yes, the leadership, by the way, the Iranian
Laugh out loud.
leadership right now
Trump
in their
is a
government
thing
is
Magus
fractured.
dead. Find a new hero.
Completely fractured. It is completely 100% fractured. Absolutely. 100%. Small wiener gang. Let's keep going, dude.
Forth, and then all of a sudden, a leader of another area will say, well, how could you agree to that? We're not
Small
agreeing
wiener
to that.
gang.
And the whole system gets upended. And that's the challenge in trying to negotiate through something like this. But if anybody can handle it, I think it's the president. Now, what particularly struck me this weekend on the Sunday shows, Senator Tim Kaine was on, and he kept pounding the point that under JCPOA, we had a deal where the Iranians were not going to make nuclear weapons anymore. Well, maybe that's what they signed on the dotted line, but they did not adhere to that.
Yeah.
As a matter
They were enriching uranium at massive scales. And it's true. Very true. 100%. Hunted.
of fact, that's how the enriched uranium has gotten to the point that it's gotten, where it's one step away from a nuclear weapon. They didn't want to agree or allow it to, have people come inspect and make sure that they were sticking to the agreement. Therefore, the president moved out. I hate this Democrat narrative that Trump just pulled out of that deal willy-nilly for no particular reason. Everything was fine, and this is a war of choice. It's got to stop.
Right.
No, this is a war of necessity. Absolutely. You do not want Iran having nuclear weapons. Period. End of story. And the fact of the matter was they were trying to do it behind everybody's back. That's terrible. I'd like to believe that everybody can agree on that. Hopefully. But, whatever.
Lou, I agree with what Jackie's saying there. I'm more sunshine like Murphy and welcome. But I will say this as well. News out of Venezuela is pretty good. Chevron making a deal. It sounds like we've got more expectations to get more oil out of Venezuela. But the IRGC is increasingly not looking like it is going to produce any Delcy Rodriguez's. Does that give you pause that maybe Iran's going to be a heck of a lot more difficult going forward than Venezuela's?
I think the price action is telling, so put me in the Mike Murphy and the KC Sunshine Band group here, because I think it's going to be rosier on the other side. And before I answer your question directly, I'm going to ignore it for a second to touch on what we talked about Ukraine. The difference here, we have to remember, key difference then, we were coming off 2 negative quarters of GDP growth in 2022. The economy was dealing with inflation that was running at about 6.5%. So it was much more of a shock to the economic situation.
And we weren't drilling.
Right, and we weren't drilling. So fast forward
today, we're drilling, we're getting more oil, we're completely, I wouldn't say completely energy independent, but for the most part, the United States is pretty damn energy independent at this point.
Today, and Mike said it best, and Taylor too, we're growing at double-digit earnings growth rates. Multiples have compressed. You saw tech go from 40 times earnings down to 20 times forward earnings. That's a 50% contraction.
That was Jackie's NVIDIA call.
Yeah, great. So getting back, now let's look at Venezuela, right? We always said Chevron would be the beneficiary because they were the one that was still there. They still had a 25% interest. No one else wants to play ball there. They want to drill in other areas where they have more control. And I think the positive is that oil prices, if we look at the futures curve, are still higher as we go out. We're about in the mid-70s 6 months out.
Good.
We're going to stay there. That encourages U.S. domestic producers to keep drilling. Break-evens in the Permian right now on new wells are about 69 or 70 a barrel. So you're going to see right now this preference for American oil, for fossil fuels. And in the next quarter to two, I believe you'll see the oil and gas companies come out and say, look, we're doing a lot more expansion. They've been sitting on their hands right now and just returning the cash to shareholders, which is not a bad thing if you own the energy sector. But I think you're going to see more of this energy independence. The U.S. dominance on the energy scene is a positive, even if Iran tries to be stubborn. We're blockading the Strait of Hormuz. They're cutting themselves
and
off.
it seems to be working. But, Mike, we're getting messages, too, almost.
Yeah, I think the blockade's actually been extremely successful. The blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, extremely successful so far from what I've been able to tell. That's what I think, but who knows? I could be wrong.
It's on a daily or weekly basis now. Hey, this is happening. No, it's not. This is open. Now it's closed. That happens 1 or 2 times. Maybe it's fine. It happens repeatedly. Do markets start getting more nervous? Do traders start getting more nervous? Do people say, I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm only going to believe what I'm seeing. And does that make the road ahead a little rockier than even you think it might be?
I think
It might make it a little rocky. Not too bad.
Under normal conditions, it may. But what this administration's doing so well is they're handling the messaging themselves. We got the live video from the ship that was about to fire on the Iranian tanker. So they're not leaving it up to the mainstream media to say what's going on. So they're coming out, getting in front of it, saying what they're going to do, when they're doing it. So no one said like, hey, Iran said this, so everything's going to be sunshine. It's going to work perfectly. They're at the table with Iran. But I think the message we're getting is, if there's no deal, we are going to handle our business either way. I think that's why the markets aren't pricing in a long, drawn-out conflict.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's the thing. That's what the market. If you look at the markets right now, they are pricing in that everything's going to be just fine. Because I think there's a lot of insiders that kind of have a general idea of what's happening, and they understand a lot of stuff, and I think there's a lot of information that's being passed along to several institutional investors. Is that legal? I don't think so. It's allegedly. But, I think it's happening. I really do. I think that's what's happening, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's what was happening, but whatever.
Or something that could be negative. This is going to get dealt with one way or the other. So the markets are looking past it.
I think the same way the markets are looking past the China trade deal, right? We're getting to the table. Eventually, it's going to happen. Yep. They're seeing, markets are forward looking, and you look at the price action, I think, in oil. I think it's always telling.
At a certain point, all of that, whether it's dealing with the Iran situation or China, is rooted in fear and not really knowing what's going to happen. And I know the markets don't like uncertainty, but to Taylor's point, when you focus on what is happening here at home, the benefits of the big, beautiful bill, the economic cycle that, Trump's economic policies have put into place that are starting to finally show us some reward, it's hard not to say.
Hey, thank you guys for subscribing, by the way. We're now at 10,160 subs. Once again, we're at 10,160. So I appreciate the tremendous support that everybody's showing. It really means a lot to this channel, and we're just going to keep doing what we do. Let's keep watching this video.
It's right in front of you. It's right here. You can't focus on it because you have to be scared.
All right, Taylor, Eli Lilly, what's going on?
When Lou Bassney sits next to me, I know he's a fan of Eli Lilly, and I like to do it. And no, today it is not about GLP-1s, you guys. They are acquiring Colonia Therapeutics, a deal worth as much as
Eli Lilly's acquiring Colonia Therapeutics for $7 billion. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if that's a penny stock that I might own. Hold on. Colonia. That depends on if it's a penny stock, that is. I don't even know if it is or not. Colonia. I don't think they're a publicly traded company. I don't. I couldn't really find them on my brokerage. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think that's a publicly traded company at all, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. It would have been cool, though, if it was like, I love it when big companies. So one of the reasons why I do like having some of the some of the, what do you call it? The biosciences. What do you call those? Holy crap. I'm drawing such a blank right now. Pharmaceutical companies. So when you're buying into a lot of these pharmaceutical companies that are creating all these vaccines and stuff, especially the penny stocks, there could be real upside, but there can also be real downside too. That's why you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. It's funny because I did use ChatGPT to pick winning penny stocks. And, obviously it's not going to pick all winners, because especially if you're trying to make an index of penny stocks. But it does pick quite a few. I got to admit, I've been very impressed with ChatGPT. It's not financial advice. Talk to a financial advisor one way or another. Penny stocks are increasingly risky, so I don't recommend it. Only I do it because I'm kind of crazy. And by the way, I like a little bit of gambling from time to time. It's a little bit fun. But let's see here. Yeah, so I definitely wanted to rack up on a small cap position on the all world small caps. I felt like I was kind of needing to increase my position a little bit further. Yeah, I'll buy one more share of the Russell 2000 just in case it goes up a little bit further. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of lay down a few positions on here and then call it good. I was, honestly, I was kind of hoping that silver would crash. It's possible that silver may not even go down anytime soon. Like, one of the reasons why I'm such a huge investor when it comes to at least acquiring silver, at least, not acquiring, investing in silver ETFs specifically, is because when the price of silver goes down, I mean, I do see that as a true buying opportunity because the demand eventually goes back up. Sometimes the demand for silver can be a little bit cyclical, and which is it could go in cycles. So you could take advantage of dip buys when they approach. Obviously, you guys know that I'm not an all-in investor on any one particular thing. I'm kind of like, I dip my toes in the sand a little bit from time to time. It's just kind of how I operate. Everything.
$7 billion. I think up front it's $3.25 billion of cash, and then some other payments get made that makes the deal up to $7 billion if there are certain milestones that are reached. It is, I think, focusing on blood cancer, Lou, but you'll correct me if I'm wrong. And it's been a lucrative business for them. And so, again, a deal that maybe shareholders like. Curious how you think about that.
No, I love this. I said early on that we're going to see a ton of M&A in the big biotech sector because Big Pharma has $170 billion or $180 billion worth of pipeline drugs to replace between now and 2030. This is a great acquisition. Like you said, it's focusing on blood cancers, multiple myeloma, which used to be a best-selling drug for Celgene back in the day. Also getting into autoimmune and other cancers that are hard to treat.
Amazing. All right, coming up, new kids.
Yeah, when a big company like Eli Lilly takes over a smaller biotech company, I think sometimes that could actually be for the best, and here's why. Because Eli Lilly has the resources to provide, at least the capital. And also Eli Lilly has other companies that they own as well that they can combine with that company if they feel like they need to, especially if they're developing similar cures for different things. So it depends. By the way, we're at 10,161 subs, everybody. 10,161 subs. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It definitely helps us out quite a bit. I appreciate everybody's efforts, and let's keep going, man.
On the block are setting the tone. Palantir just laid it all out for the rest of Silicon Valley. It's America first. We'll show you what the company said next.
Palantir, dude, I don't trust Palantir as a company. Peter Thiel just kind of creeps me out, dude. There's something about Peter Thiel that creeps me out, bro. So Trump threatens Iran escalation. Let's take a look.
I think after a deal is reached, it won't be in the too distant future. People are ready to go. Ships are there. The United States put through 2 warships through the straits. We can open it one way or the other, but the best way to do it is to have an end to the conflict and a defanged and de-armed Iran.
Absolutely, dude. Defanged and de-armed Iran. That sounds good to me, man.
Stocks just a tad lower today while oil is climbing as we await a potential second round of U.S.-Iran peace talks in Pakistan. Welcome to the second hour of The Big Money Show. I'm Taylor Riggs along with my amazing co-host, and with us for the hour, Barron's Investor Circle newsletter editor Josh Schaefer. Great to have you.
Great to be back.
So President Trump keeping up the pressure on Iran, threatening to blow up all of Iran's bridges and power plants if a deal is not reached. Tensions escalated this weekend after the U.S. seized an Iranian cargo ship. Iran vows to retaliate. Meanwhile, CENTCOM continues to enforce the blockade.
If Iranian continue...
As they should. The blockade should remain enforced. Absolutely. 100%. At this point. You know, give me a moment, you guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, the blockade should remain intact. Absolutely. 100%.
continues to push back on this, then absolutely we can expect more. This action from this weekend demonstrates that this blockade is not an economic show of force. It's an actual measure of economic pressure. We're squeezing out their ability to transport their oil. And then hopefully, at some point, that lands us in diplomatic pressure. So all the parties come back together and we work out some kind of negotiation.
Josh, want to come to you first to see if you think anything differently. I continue to be pleasantly surprised at how well behaved these markets are being. The fact that the S&P 500 can trying to hold on to 7,100. We're back some and then more when you go back to February 27th, the Friday before the war broke out. So it was a round trip, and it was a difficult round trip, but I continue to be really impressed by oil at 88, and yet you have a market that's still near record highs.
The market seems to have largely moved on from this issue and is starting to price in new things, right? The NASDAQ composite is off 0.6.
Heck yeah, dude. No, and I love the fact, I like it when markets go up because it gives me an opportunity to sell a couple positions at a profit. But, yeah, I mean, I like it when the markets also go down. I do. I really do. So, hopefully, markets go back up. Hopefully they rage up a little bit, and we'll see what happens, man.
% right now. That's barely moving, realistically, if we zoom out. The NASDAQ composite just closed out a 13-day winning streak. It was its best stretch since 1992.
You should do a pop quiz. I would have gotten that one.
Do you know how much the index was up over that period, Taylor? Almost 18%. Almost 18%. The NASDAQ was up almost 18%
It's shocking.
Across 13 sessions. So I think today, even without news over the weekend, you probably could have seen stocks take a breather, right? You're not going to go up every single day. So you're getting a little bit of a breather in the market, but you zoom out.
Wait, so this person's saying that Google's going to crash?
Will Offru says, Google is going to crash when Section 230 is dismissed in DEC.
Okay, hold on. So what is Section 230? And why, if it's dismissed, why would that even matter? I'm just curious, why would that even matter?
And I think
I don't educate me on it.
You're seeing the market price in at this point is it's pricing in the AI story. What does all of this mean to the AI story and corporate profits in the U.S.? And the further we get into this story, it's not disrupting the AI narrative at all. And that's really what's driving the stock market here. The reason the NASDAQ was up 13 straight days is, yes, oil came down and there are tensions easing to some extent, it seems like, but really it's still AI that's driving the equity market. I think it's a little bit different than, say, just straight oil and stocks and what's going on at this point.
Lou, I want to come to you on your oil expertise. Something I was reading this morning said this is unlike the Ukraine-Russia invasion in 2022 and really unlike the stagflationary shocks of the 1970s because we are in a much better situation. Of course, we talked about Brent futures. 6 months out, we're nowhere near $100 per barrel. We also inflation is at a lower start, so you don't have central banks, unlike 2022 or the 70s, where you had to start doing this aggressive hiking campaign. We're not even thinking about rate hikes. And more importantly, the macroeconomic data is shockingly resilient, where you don't have worries of this immediate economic recession the minute oil climbs to $80, $90, $100 a barrel because the economics and earnings have been so strong. Do you agree with some of those?
Well, here's the thing, man. I think a lot with how automated everything's getting. Yes, obviously, energy prices going up is not a good thing. It's not a good thing to deal with in the short term, but it could be manageable in the long term. I'll tell you why, because these short terms are just short terms. All right, it's just a short term spike in energy prices, and the market is basically pricing in the fact that this is short term pain and it's not long term. That is what the markets are pricing in. That's why people are so bullish right now. And I kind of agree with the bullish statement. You know what I mean? I will say that the international, I was looking at the international ETFs, small cap internationals. They went down today, but that's a buying opportunity for me. Let's see. So VSS went down. SLV is looking good. And then, yeah, so I got some pretty good positions in all three of those ETFs. Yeah, and we'll just see if they goes down a little bit further, it goes down a little bit further. I mean, we'll see what happens. I prefer it if the VSS. I would love to see the VSS go on a bull run though, anytime. It's one of the more diverse ones that I have, and I think that massive diversification, especially across the small cap space, especially in emerging markets and well-developed markets, can be a good thing. So that's why I swing trade small caps, just because they're a lot more sensitive to economic events. They'll dip very rapidly if anything happens, but they'll also go up rapidly if anything happens that's positive too. So it just depends on what's happening. So they're definitely more news sensitive, but it's really, honestly, it's easy for me to get a small profit here and there from the swing trading of things like the VSS and ETFs of that nature.
Points.
I agree with all of it, and I want to say this. I think you put your finger on the right thing. We weren't on a high alert, high sensitivity economic backdrop when this war broke out with Iran. Everything was very strong, solid. To Josh's point, AI was driving the majority of the growth and the profitability, and nothing's changed that yet. So I think you look at it, yes, there's things, it's dangerous to say it's different this time, but you put your finger on the things that I think are most important. Inflation is about a third of where it was when Ukraine war broke out. You also were looking at GDP growth that was much less encouraging, right?
So let's
Jose Gonzalez 4144 says, "What do you think about SpaceX stock when they go public?"
That's a good question, man. I think with SpaceX, I think naturally it's going to be hilariously overvalued for its IPO. I think a lot of people are going to get into it. I think a lot of people are going to pump up the price, and that's what Elon's doing, though. He's getting the hype going. So Elon wants everybody to get hyped up for this, and he wants a ton of people to invest. Granted, I think SpaceX will probably end up being a solid company. SpaceX already is a solid company. They're just going public. They've already been a company for a long time. They're just finally going public. So I'm interested. I have a feeling it's going to be hilariously overvalued. Its price over earnings is going to be far more overvalued. So I tend to, I want to say this, I tend to look at it with a little bit of a grain of salt. I usually try to just invest in companies that have lower PE rate. I should say I invest in indexes where the total PE ratio for all the combined companies is lower. That is something I definitely like to do, but that's just the way I look at it.
Like we were accelerating back then, we were decelerating coming out of 2 quarters in the beginning of 2022. Even though it wasn't deemed an official recession, it was a recession. So the backdrops are completely different. And I think what it comes down to is what you alluded to, Josh, is that do we hear any companies, another 100 or so are going to report this week, say anything about energy prices impacting them? Based upon the market, no one's anticipating them. I mean, we're at $88. If you would have told me that we were shutting the Strait of Hormuz and we weren't going to be in triple-digit territory, I would have thought you were crazy. But this is the world we live in. We're looking past it. And
to add to your point a little bit, Lou, too, when we think about companies and sort of what we hear from companies in earnings season, this is the perfect excuse for management to come out and say we missed expectations for sales or expectations for profits because of energy prices, because of political uncertainty. You're not hearing it at this point. And if it were actually happening or even slightly happening, management will go to that. You hear it all the time.
Yeah, I think things are looking fine. I think the outlook for this is fine. And like he said, markets are forward looking, and markets here anticipating basically greener pastures ahead. Now, granted, there will be volatility. Markets go up, markets go down. They fluctuate. It's one of the reasons why, and I prefer to swing trade a small cap index ETF, not financial advice. Just to let you know, not financial advice at all. Talk to a financial advisor. But the reason that I love small cap ETFs specifically, especially like the VSS and the VTWO, is because they both contain a large indice of small caps. But the reason I swing trade both of those indices is because I want global exposure to the small cap sector, to small cap companies. Is it a little risky? Yes. Is it worth the risk? Absolutely. And I love buying those indices on the dip. It's not like it's all going to go to zero. I mean, these are all full-fledged companies. They're just smaller capped, which means higher growth potential, but also higher potential for loss as well. But granted, a lot of the big ones that home runs, they end up winning in the end. So I don't know. I love small cap ETFs. I love the volatility. I love the ups and downs, and that's one of the reasons why I continue to play the volatility of these specific ones. I do want to thank you guys for taking the time to tune in today. I think I'm going to call it quits for the evening, at least. I mean, I will definitely be streaming later, as always. I got to end up taking my walk after I'm done with lunch. I'm going to make myself a sandwich, but I appreciate you guys, seriously. More subscribers, more super chats, more gifts. I can't believe it. Just keeps working. So, love you guys. Stay safe.